It's go time.
Here, first, when you saw that video of Diddy, Cassie in that hotel, did you recognize that Sean Combs?
What I want to say, first of all, when I seen the video, everything in the video was egregious. I'm against. I don't support all the charges that's alleged against him. I don't support any of that trafficking, minors, domestic violence. I'm totally against it. So when I seen the video, yeah, I was kind of upset with it. Being that I know him, he's not necessarily a friend, but yeah, I was upset when I seen it. But
did you
as far as
recognize
everything
him?
I just said,
Did you recognize that kind of anger at all from your
I don't
experiences?
know him like that. What do you mean? Do I be recognized? Did I recognize him? I seen him. What do you mean my experiences? I seen him and I thought it was disgusting. I didn't do a zoom in to see if it was really him or nothing, but he admitted it was him. So yeah, it was him.
What did you think about the apology that he gave in that other video?
Ain't me for this. The apology ain't for me. It decides for Cassie. What I think about it don't matter. He ain't do nothing to me. Cassie need to ask Cassie if she accept the apology. I told you how I feel. I said what I said.
I want to play a conversation that you had on your podcast back in September with Mase. Listen.
Yeah.
When you had your record deal, why did you take me to Biggie Smalls and not Bad Boy?
Man, it's almost gonna bring me to tears to say this. I just, being that I saw you as such a good friend, I wanted to put you with somebody I knew with.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. A lot of people ask me that on Instagram, man. Don't have me that's why I here crying and shit, man. I don't want to get emotional in here, man.
Instantly, I knew Biggie would do right by you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, is there something known in the industry about how Diddy treated his artists?
So I'm going to get some cheeks after this horsepower joint. I'm just going off what Mase said. Mase took me to Biggie. I don't really know Puffers like Mase know Puff. So I appreciate what Mase said. And of course, that's my brother. So if he felt that way, then he felt that way. I can't really tell you how Puff moves or anything like that. Mase may know better than me because he was signed to Puff. I wasn't. But my show does come on at 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. It's called It Is What It Is. And y'all make sure y'all check it out. I mean, I might get some more information out of Mase from there. But for me to tell you how Puff act and all that, I don't know. I never was signed to him.
Yeah. What about the industry in general? I mean, so many people have pointed out that Diddy couldn't get away with this stuff if there weren't a lot of people protecting him. Do you think that's the case?
Who the talent agent for this joint? Like, you think I'll be sitting around watching what Diddy do and all this? I didn't know this was a Diddy joint that y'all invited me to. Who booked me for this joint?
All right.
Wow, and I don't be sitting around watching Diddy and all that. Yeah,
thanks.
Man, come on, man.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your time tonight.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. You enjoy.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Cam went on CNN and put on the show, man. I just want to get you guys' opinions about what was seen there. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start with, we'll start with you first, B-Mad. Like, is this your first time seeing it or you saw it already?
No, that was my first time seeing it. So you're getting like a raw reaction out of me right now. Wow. Yeah, Cam was wilding on that one. Ooh. Okay, yeah, I'm taking it in. So
Pause.
I mean, it sounds like to me he did. Yeah, really. Hey. That's what they do on their show all day. They say pause every other word, like it's annoying. I ain't gonna lie. First off, congrats to Cameron and Mase for getting that $20 million deal. First off, on their podcast, like first and foremost, salute to you brothers. Second off, I think he was just on there clowning, honestly. Um, I think at this point, yeah, he's a rapper. What do we really what does he owe us? What do we really expect from him? But at the same, like, he's not really a role model per se. But at the same token, he I don't think he's a dumb person. I think he was dancing around the questions. I think he didn't want to answer them directly. I think he just didn't want to. He didn't want to have any of those problems. He didn't want to deal with none of that. He didn't want to be out here saying, Diddy did this, Diddy did that, and speaking against Diddy, being from Harlem, living in New York. Everyone knows, Diddy is huge in New York. So, and then, Mase is this guy. I don't know if he really wanted that, on him. I think I think the whole Diddy situation is kind of radioactive, and he just wants to stay far away from it. And, I think he was an asshole on purpose on CNN. That's my thoughts.
All right. I'm going to go to you, Darwin. What was your thoughts about it, sir?
I think he knew he was supposed to be on there, and he knew he was doing an interview about Diddy. I think it's just a media move to go viral, maybe. I think he knew exactly. I think the guys around these type of guys, the team around these guys that plan stuff and put them in front of camera and live television, thoroughly go through everything that's necessary to know what the hell you're getting yourself into and who you speaking on. So I don't think he just, somebody want to interview on CNN. Okay. Nah, I'm not bought into that. So I do wish that, I get it. You want to maintain the same character you are whenever you're rapping, but I just wish that black men, that are on this high level or whatever. I'm not going to say he's on a high level that gets this much airtime and get airtime like this can, speak in a way where it's, I don't want to try to bash the dude, but the way he talks and his demeanor and his respect for that, the interviewer and all that stuff, and just his representation of a black man doesn't really look good to me. I don't know what the comments look like, but I know he's from New York. I know they got this behavior or this type of, mannerism or whatever. Maybe they give him a pass for it. But for me personally, it's just too gangster, too ghetto. You know what I'm saying? And I think it need to be toned down. That's just me personally. I think you could still be a gangster rapper or whatever and still have some type of decorum whenever you on a platform like that, because a lot of people you met, you don't know, they, you have an inspiration. You give inspiration to people that want to be like you or whatever. Not necessarily got to be that kind of demeanor. I'm lost for words, but I'm pretty sure y'all get the picture. So I'm gonna just let somebody else talk about it.
All right, I'm gonna go to you, Shannon. Darwin says he was ghetto. What are your thoughts about it, man?
He was, but he was doing that because he's speaking to his. So what's happening is mainstream. People are starting to ignore mainstream media, and people, thanks to the internet and social media and podcasts and iPhones and shows like this and instant messages and DMs, we can all talk to each other without being told what the news is telling us. And so what's happening now, it used to be a proud moment for a rapper or an artist or some sort of celebrity or movie star to be invited to the news station to talk about a particular current event. it was an honor to go and sit on, Maury or Oprah's sofa or and sit down at the talk show and be able to discuss your life, go on to the late night show with whoever and sit down and talk about your upcoming whatever. And now people aren't watching that stuff. And because people know that the mainstream media lies the way they do, people have figured out that they manipulate stories, and oftentimes the anchors or the people that's interviewing you are just shills for a bigger purpose. They're not falling for it no more. So when he was invited, he was like, okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna use this opportunity to talk to my people. Everybody knows that I'm not a sports guy, but I've tapped into that show a few times, and they just keep it raw. They curse, they tell you like it is. They talk about, the basketball game or the football game, and it's almost like you just chilling at somebody's barbecue, watching the game at their house. And so he's talking like that. He's, popping whatever it was, some kind of Viagra or whatever, talking about he's about to go smash after the show. He said that live on CNN and got his sunglasses on. He don't want to be there, but he knows he needs to be there for people like us to discuss it. And the thing is, his audience that he's trying to build are the ones that love what he did on that show. So it's ghetto. He's absolutely right. However, he's speaking to his ghetto audience or the others that, because most people that caters to Cameron and Mase talking about sports ain't watching CNN. So what he's doing it, or if they are watching CNN, they don't know about him. And so when he goes on CNN, he just said, hey, y'all don't want to fuck with the CNN shit, asking these silly questions all about Diddy, every question back to back to back about Sean Combs. Get off of that shit. Come see me. And he threw out his time slot, said, you want to tap in with me? Come check me out. And he's siphoning, funneling, and pulling audiences from mainstream media to our own personal shit. So, I don't watch the news like that. And you know where I go to get news? I go to Twitter and I come here. I go to YouTube to get the latest and the greatest about whatever the fuck happened recently. Like, the helicopter crash that happened in Iran where the president and the prime minister died. I didn't get that from CNN. I didn't get that from Fox. I didn't get that from MSNBC. I got that from Twitter. And then after that, I came straight to YouTube to get the details. So people like Cameron he knows what he's doing. And that was all played out. He's been media trained. He's not new in the game. He's 20 plus years of being a celebrity. He knew exactly that was a professional hit that he did on CNN just now. So that's just how they roll, man.
Shane, how about that plug though? How about that plug?
One? I mean, show?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
he's
free advertising.
Like,
free advertising.
Exactly. Millions of people in front of millions of people.
Yeah, and so he's saying, listen, and if y'all don't like how I am, you don't like me sunglasses, and I'm about to go get some pussy after this show, and then don't come. Stay right here at CNN. But if you my kind of people, come check me out. And now CNN may never bring him back, and he's okay with that because he never needed to get called in the first place. So that's just how you work that.
Well, let me ask you.
He was like, y'all should have called Mase. He said, y'all should have called Mase. You had to call me. He was signed to him. I wasn't signed to him.
What do you think? What do you think they was going? Let's say he didn't know they was going to talk about Diddy. What did y'all think he thought they was going to talk about?
Again, like they said on the Apollo 6 mission back in 1968, what ifs are meaningless. The reality is he knew. We could come up with hypothetical scenarios and figure out, but he knew what he was going up there for. And then he knew how to play. He knew the answer is 3-4 questions about it, and then make it seem like, what am I doing here? So,
and then made it go viral. And then made it go viral on top of that.
Yeah, to answer the hypothetical, why would they call him if it wasn't for Puff to talk about what his podcast deal, to talk about his latest album that's coming out? He knows there is no other reason why he was called to CNN, and that's why he went. He's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go up here, siphon off maybe 10, 20,000 new followers off of CNN, and then y'all call me back in a couple years if you need me.
All right. Let me go ahead and go to you, Mr. Hink. What are your thoughts about it, sir? Hink.
Oh man, shit, you kind of cut out for a minute. My bad. Yeah, I put it in the thing like, why did they ask him? I mean, what was his purpose? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they did try to get at Mase first. Maybe he was the first one they tried to get. He just didn't want to talk to him about it. So Cam said, man, shit, tell him to get at me. I'll talk. So he made the decision. He gonna get up there and talk. And like Shane said, fuck it. I'm gonna answer about 2 or 3 questions. Let him know how I really feel about the situation, and then I'm gonna talk about my child. He did exactly. Look, her Cameron's been trash ever since his damn Diplomat album came out, man. I'm not.
I get computers puking.
Man, you're not a fan of Cam? You're not a fan of Cameron with the pink furs and Dipset? You're not a fan of that?
You gotta check out his new freestyle, bro. You wildin'.
No, man, it's gonna be trash too, Trey. You don't need to try to sell me on some bullshit. Look, he did what he's supposed to do. He got some publicity for his channel. He went up there and had a viral moment, talking about he's going to get some cheeks. Right then and there, they probably should have cut it. They should have known he was about to go left. He talked crazy like he's drinking on some substance that nobody has any idea about. Should have known it right then and there, but they want to keep going. They want to keep entertaining him. And guess what? He gave him a show. So I hope CNN got their money worth. It makes CNN look just as bad as they always look on every situation that they're involved in. I mean, shout out to them for getting a videotape and be the first to release it. But other than that, they've done nothing good.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play his response to them and get to the rest of the gentlemen.
Yeah, let's actually talk about that before we even get into the questions. Like, elephant in the room. You were on another show.
Yeah, I came. I didn't even go home last night because I went to the studio. I washed up though, so I'm good. I ain't gonna explain none of that. But yeah, man, you was gonna say something? Oh no, I seen your hand. Yeah, no, they invited me on the show to talk about what's going on with Diddy and all that. And then my thing about it was, Mase, is that they didn't invite me on to say about how successful our show is or the positive stuff we do in the community, how every day, 5 days a week, Mase talks to kids on a Zoom call. Mase doesn't even promote this. I'm going to promote this for Mase. Is that every day at 5 o'clock, it don't matter what's going on, what's happening, where he's at. It could be money involved. It could be a photo shoot. It could be whatever. He stops what he's doing to talk to kids around the world about being positive and doing what they believe in and so on and so forth. And to the point where, one day he was at my house and he told me, Cam, you can't make no noise. Don't come in. I'm not playing with you. Like, that's how serious, no, but seriously, that's how serious he takes what he does. And we do all these positive things. And you call me on CNN for the bullshit, I'm going to give you the bullshit. That's just what's going to happen. So we got some free promo. I teased the Pink Horsepower. They tried to bring up when Mase bought me the Biggie instead of Puff, and I said, yeah, if you seen it, what you asking me about it for? Like, nigga, it was self-explanatory. So I got us some free promo. I didn't get the shout out to Dipset Couture. Make sure you go online to dipsetcouture.us to order some shirts and everything else. But yeah, I just felt that you try to use me, to whatever Diddy going through to down him. And listen, the video, I don't support it. I don't believe in domestic violence. I don't believe in anything that has to do with being a pedophile. I don't believe in sex trafficking. I think what I seen the video was egregious, and the charges are fucked up. They're really fucked up. Oh, wait, but nigga, I said what I said. I gave a disclaimer at the beginning. Then we got on the commercial. That was that. So that's how that went yesterday, man. I don't know why they didn't watch 60 Minutes. They ain't watch Bill O'Reilly. This is what I do on them joints, pause. Y'all keep inviting me up to Fox, CNN, 60 Minutes. Y'all already know what the resume is with them shows with me. But yeah, that's what happens, Stat.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people had a lot of questions, so I just wanted you to clarify up here. But you guys know we film 5 times a week. You had the pink horsepower up there. Y'all seen it. And if you haven't seen the video, it's on Cam's page. You can go to his Instagram and check it out. And
Right.
also, again, shout out to Mase for
Yeah.
always being positive and doing good things, because that's what we do over here.
Right. And real quick before you move on, that's what I really want to focus on, because I know we play and joke a lot, but y'all call us up there for that and don't invite us to talk about shit that's positive. Y'all y'all call me like this. We did this in less than 24 hours. You could have called us up for a bunch of positive different things that we do, but you want to play games. That's what you got. That's just what it is. And I don't think we was playing games. I just went up there to promote all the different things that we have going on.
That's what's up.
Yeah, mission accomplished.
And I'm saving my takes for the documentary.
Yeah,
So if y'all wondering how I feel, it's coming soon. Pause.
yeah.
And I never watched that. Tonight's the first time I saw any of this, but it was obvious.
Yeah.
Same here.
I
Same
didn't
here.
know he came and said the same thing, but shit, yeah, exactly. Like, man, ain't nobody falling for the CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, C-SPAN, all that. But man, nobody falling for that no more. Nah, people ain't. They're not going for the okie doke. And those channels, those networks are dying in terms of delivering information.
You notice how he cleaned it up whenever he started talking about what they do for the kids. He wasn't really all that belligerent with his words and shit like that. It was more what we do with the kids day in and it was more cleaned up. And that's what I thought was going to happen. But it appears he was agitated already going on there.
Mhm.
That's why he just
Yeah,
gave
it was calculated.
shit
It
take.
was calculated. It wasn't just no nigga. I ain't never been here, but I'm gonna just keep it real. So I'm from the streets type shit. Cameron been in the
I'm gonna
game since
keep
the
it
90s.
real.
He been in the game since the 90s. He knew exactly what the fuck he was doing. He was like, okay, so now y'all want to call me. Oh, so now mainstream media want to call me now. Puff is going through some shit. All right, I'll go.
But don't you think he would have had a bigger balls, if he would have came out and said, hey, look, we doing all these things for the kids, day in and day out, 5 days a week. But y'all want to call me and talk about another man that's committed a crime and on some egregious stuff. Why we've been doing this for so long? Why couldn't y'all call us on some positive stuff? I think that would have been better to counter what him going on there and having to talk about Diddy than just being belligerent with his words.
Well,
Yeah.
again, he is still a nigga. So let's keep it there. That's not all of a sudden. That's not all. I mean, he's been in the game for a while, but that's not all of a sudden give him a scholar. Just give him, make him a scholar. And they would have stonewalled him if he did that. And then it would have turned into a debate. And I doubt he's prepared to debate an anchor from CNN. So he just kept it cute, said what he said, and then I bet when somebody said,
have you seen Bill O'Reilly?
I think he's very prepared. I think he's very prepared to debate that Bill O'Reilly. He definitely. You remember that? You mad? Yo, he had Bill O'Reilly sick. He's ready for that type of debate. He which I understand about Cameron. He's the ultimate troll. Like all of this, he knew exactly what he was getting into. First off, most of y'all know how it works. They can't just hit you up and then be like, okay, just come on CNN. They had to tell him what he was going to be talking about. So he's like, oh, that's what y'all want to talk about? Watch this. Watch this. Okay, so he already came in. He already had 2 plugs, pause. He'd been advertising that little sex drink or whatever, that pink horsepower joint for the longest. And of course, he's going to take the opportunity to do it. And he threw in his showtime and everything else. So he said, I'm going to use it for that. But I'm going to go as far as to say CNN knew what he was going to do, too, because they saw Bill O'Reilly. They saw 60 Minutes, right? And if you were paying attention to the 60 Minutes, you knew you can't come to him like that. No way, pause, because he don't snitch. He said if there was like a pedo or something right next door to him, he would just move, but he wouldn't snitch no matter what. So what makes you think that he's going to respond well to you saying, oh, well, did you recognize that energy? No, Cam is not going to snitch no matter what. He's going to be breaking character by doing it. I don't think he would do it in real life either. So but he damn sure ain't going to get on live TV and do that. But CNN, they knew exactly what he's going to do. And like Shan said, they're dying breed right about now. So they said, listen, we need to bring some of these young people over here. And I guarantee you that they were able to migrate at least a few people over to go try to see some more, to see if they could find some more funny takes like that. Because people don't watch legacy media anymore because it's boring, because the stuff we doing right here, people would rather tune into this. People would rather listen to people who are unfiltered and are not necessarily, or not at least to the degree, governed by advertisers. That's the main issue with it. People want to hear something raw and unfiltered from people that they can relate to. And not to mention, you can interact on the internet. People could go into chats. We could respond to it. It's different. You could bring them up live if you want to. It's very different than you just watching some talking heads on the screen. It became boring. And most people have their mobile phones. So it's not, they want things on demand. We don't want to wait till prime time. We want to watch something live while it's happening because it's raw and it's unfiltered. So that's the difference. And Cameron just don't care, man. He's going to always be like that. And Shan, you was also right about him talking to his base. It's like the Trump effect, right? He doesn't really care. Even though there's people who are going to say everything, it's egregious. Oh, my God, I'm appalled. OK, great. But guess what? He's very effective at what he does. He knows how to charge his base. It's as simple as that. He didn't get a $20 million deal by not knowing what he's doing. He's extremely savvy when it comes to this. So he's not going to change a formula that works. He's only become more popular over the years, right? His show hit like immediately by him just being just how he is right now. So he's not going to switch, right? It's not something that I would want to do, but he's successful at it. So who am I to tell you, oh, you don't know what the hell you're doing? Like it's working for him. And to him, I think he's just being himself without being filtered at all. And it's actually refreshing to behave like that when you don't have to operate within the guidelines of what society tells you you're supposed to be. That's the problem. People say we're supposed to be like this. We're supposed to act in this manner, but he's doing it his own way, exactly the way he wants to do it. And he's getting paid millions for it. So I can't really fault that. And in the background, like you said, they're also doing positive things to help the community. So if you're doing that, what more do you want to ask from the homie?
I don't know, Trev. You should probably start trying to act a little bit like Cam, man, on Thursday show.
If you want. y'all don't know if y'all want that. Let me get a couple of drinks in me. We'll see. I'll try it next Thursday. Remember, you asked for it. Y'all saw it, right? He asked for it. So
yeah, man, go ahead and switch up that water for a couple of drinks. Go ahead, Viz.
Pause.
Man, I agree with Darwin and Shannon. On one end,
what
as a mature black male, I would definitely say that the way that he acted at his age is definitely kind of questionable, just in the overall picture of it. But at the same time, Cam been in the game forever. And even when he first came into the game, if you really peep him, he was spitting completely different than what he did as he continued into his career. He understood that him rapping with that cadence was going to stand out amongst everybody else. So the man definitely not stupid. He know what he doing. And even with that previous freestyle, he wasn't spitting how he used to spit 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? He was actually flowing. So the man definitely know what he doing. CNN know what they doing. They're the ones that are openly saying that they're the first to leak the footage. So of course they're gonna try and get as many black responses as they can. You can even notice that they had a black woman interview him. You know, that's all intentional. So I ain't mad at him for what he did. He gave them what they wanted, and shit. At this point, it was an even exchange. But on the flip side, it's still not really a good look overall, I think, for the black community, or people. We say that there's not a black community, but black people in general, or whatever the case may be. I think that overall is not a good look, but I'm all the way with what he did though. I get it.
So, do you think that the news anchor, the black woman, you think she knew anything about it? Or you think she was caught off guard?
Bro, every single thing that you see on television and movies is absolutely intentional. Somebody has multiple people had to give the green light on it. They talked about it. It was like, oh man, we should get the Cameron guy on here. Yeah. Let's get Cameron on here. Let's have whatever her name is. She's black. And they put it on there. She got paid an extra check or whatever. And there you got it. You got a sound bite. And that's what they were looking for.
All right. Go ahead, Marcus, it's on you, brother.
I agree with Trev. I think that hold on a second. I think that I prefer my media to be how those people like act in real life. It kind of annoys me when I see black people assimilating to their best imitation of whiteness. It irks my soul actually. And I think that's kind of what some people was asking for when they said how they want us to be represented. I prefer him to be himself than to pretend to be somebody else. I think he did what he was supposed to do. He made it go, viral. He got people looking at it. He also stood on, I don't know that man, I'm not speaking on that. You know what I'm saying? He did all those things while maintaining his integrity as who he is, his Cameron to the masses. I mess with Cam. I got the pictures on my page with me and him. That's my man. So that's all I got to say. I fuck with Cam. He did what he was supposed to do.
Hey, so us saying that, or maybe not so much us saying it, but him presenting himself in a mature manner on national television is acting white.
What's presenting itself in a mature manner? Explain that to me. Is he a mature man? Is he older? Is that how he act? I think that's him acting like himself.
So what do you associate whiteness with? Like, what do you?
What I'm taking in when you're requesting him to act in a different way, other than who he is, who are you asking him to act like?
So you associated with whiteness without asking the question. So you already saw that whatever other way he would act, even if it's like professional or like sense, is considered whiteness.
Well, I didn't expect him to go up there speaking Spanish. I don't think that's what y'all was referring to.
Okay, so now you're talking about
no, that's not what we're saying. I mean, I
wouldn't have used the word Hispanic. I used the assimilation to what I think that you were speaking of. If you don't, if y'all,
I get what you were saying.
Okay, so I haven't personally watched their show that often, but I have watched it. I have seen clips as to where he didn't carry himself in that manner that he did on the television show on CNN. So that's all that I'm saying. If I see him act differently at times on his podcast and he goes on CNN and acts differently, so are you like, that's the part I'm confused on, because you specifically said act white. So what exactly?
I said assimilate. It's a difference. Take on the characteristics of something other than yourself in order to fit in, right? In that environment, that's a corporate environment, right?
So
what would be the preferred method of acting? Would you prefer him to act more ratchet or less ratchet in your words? Or what is the words like ghetto? More ghetto or less ghetto in y'all words?
So basically being professional, even if you are a hood nigga or whatever. So being professional is assimilating white.
Professional is code word for white. It's not.
No.
Let me ask you this: can you go on your corporate job with an afro out? A full blown afro out.
Depends on what position you're in.
Why would that be even an issue? Period.
If the policy suggests professionalism isn't based on your grooming, or it's based on the policy and the rules.
I would argue it is
being able to follow. So what makes me a professional is my skills as far as what I can do You know what I'm saying? For whatever, if I'm gainfully employed, make me be a subject matter expert at that thing. But as far as my grooming or anything like that, which makes me more of a professional or obedient or somebody who follows the rules, is looking at the policies and say, okay, look, this is not my company. I don't own it. But in order for me to continue to work here, I have to adhere by the policy. It's not necessarily make you a professional. It just makes you somebody give me a better
So
term.
I understand what he's saying there, because it's like, okay, they had to create what they call the Crown Act. I'm not sure who's familiar with the Crown Act, right? And basically, people have written policies around how we are naturally. So if you're wearing they didn't just say there's not many haircuts or styles of other races that were banned nearly as much as just how we wore our hair naturally, right? They said that's not okay to come that black to work. And that's what he's getting at right there. That's real. Like, that's why the Crown Act exists, because it was for us and not really anybody else. So I understand what he's saying with that.
But that's not even the argument. That with what you just said, that's the way that you look. That's the way that you're wearing your hair, compared to how it is that you carry yourself and also speak. That's something completely different.
Well, your hair is part of how you carry yourself as well.
Exactly.
How you present,
and even when
you present yourself is how you carry yourself.
It's your personal brand. But you got to understand, whenever you become a part of a company or organization, the way you look is part of their brand. It's part of their image. So there's a thing called, that's why they have uniforms and stuff like that. You can't just wear whatever the hell you want. You get what I'm saying?
Well, I'm sure at their job they had a clean cut black guy that would have spoken exactly the way they wanted him to speak, but they chose Cameron. And a professional is somebody you hire to do a job with a specific skill set. They chose him for that skill set. So I think he operated in a professional manner. I think he did it.
We're trying to figure out how did you link whiteness?
Yeah,
So,
that's the only part that I'm throwing
okay,
off.
when you make the statement that he needs to behave in a more professional manner, right? What are you basing professional off of? What do you, when you think of this is how a professional person behaves, what is the pinnacle of that? What is the culture of that? Who represents that culture?
Well, for me to answer that question means that I agree that professionalism is backed by a specific culture when it's not. It actually runs across the board on all cultures, whether you're black or white. It got nothing to do with race. So we're making it. So a lot of black people got this idea that just if you can talk proper, or if you talk like you have some type of educational background, and you have some sense of whiteness. When we need to stop doing that. Actually, that means that you're smart, you're educated, and got nothing to do with race. Because black people can be smart, educated, and professional as well.
Well, listen.
You know, at the end of the day, go ahead, Shane.
Why do y'all play semantics?
That's where I was going, man.
You know, I mean, Marcus said, okay, you talk white. Y'all act like we don't. Come on, don't act like y'all don't know what Marcus is talking about.
We talking about code switching. He's talking about code switching. At the end of the day, is what he's talking about.
And I know it's cool to be, controversial on the show and whatnot. But when Marcus was getting to a different point, it's almost like y'all like to derail the train and shit and take. When a motherfucker's going somewhere, it's like, nah, fuck that. What you mean talking white? You saying black people don't? We know what that means. The reality is when you're talking white means that is typically the colloquial term is where black people are typically associating themselves and speaking in the manner of which the people in the spaces normally talk. So in corporate America is white. Let's not play no games. Predominantly white. It is. Wall Street is predominantly white. CNN, if y'all ever went up there, it's right here on Wilshire Boulevard. If you go to the building, all white folk up in there. You'll see some black people in there, security guard at the front desk, and a few sprinkles and stuff upstairs on the desk. But it's a white. So when we say talking white, it just means that when in Rome, do as the Romans do. And it's to the point that we even created our own language called Ebonics. You remember when that came out? And it was mocked as a fake language, but shit. Fucking what do you call it? Oakland School Board adopted it and got a whole lot of pushback for that. It's almost like black people try to create their own language. Remember, we talked about this whole community thing. The black community tried to create their own language, and then we pushed that back. So if we talk, I know y'all know damn well Marcus ain't out there saying that black men who speak proper and has a good commanding control of the English language like I do, you know. But I know that when I'm with my niggas, I can talk to y'all like I'm talking to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up, bro? But when I go to Hollywood, man, I know how to talk. I know how to talk to them fools up at Paramount Studios. I know how to talk at Sony Pictures. I know how to talk to Universal, especially if I need to get a check for a project. So when I come back down to the hood and I'm with my guys, and I'm like, I got that check. We getting ready to make some shit happen. I can't talk like that.
But Shan,
here's the thing: if Cameron came up on there on CNN with his high-end vernacular, with his mass communications degree type of talking, do you think he would have went viral? Do you think the video would have went viral? Do you think we would be talking about it right now if he came up there, Viz, and was like, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to talk about Diddy. You guys haven't talked about all the great things we're doing on our podcast and what Mase is doing. I would prefer to talk about what Mase is doing, talking to kids at 5 p.m. every day, instead of being like fuck that."
Madden, you know what we do? Everybody would say, "Why the fuck is Cameron talking like that? That ain't him."
Bingo. So that's not who he is. That's not how he moves.
Look, Viz and Darwin, don't get me wrong. I'm simply saying when Marcus say talk white, we know what that means. This doesn't necessarily mean I'm associating myself and speaking like white Caucasians from European. No, we're not. That's not what we're saying. We're simply saying that that's a term, a colloquial term, to say I'm switching from how I am with my guys over at King Talk and over in the back chat and before the show come on and after the show and when I'm with my niggas at the game, versus when I'm in a professional setting and it's in half all the directors and all the vice presidents except for 2% of them is white.
And last
do you know how refreshing it is?
Look at the panel. Look at the panel. Look at the panel. Last I checked, we're all black men in America in this country, all of us. So we know code switching better than anybody. So we're not going to
how about this? Do you understand how refreshing it is to be able to go anywhere and be yourself and not have to fraud? Right? This is how he grew up. Like, why do we need to switch? When you have a man like that who can actually say things like it is, do what he wants to do, and on top of that, be successful, and on top of that, doing good things in the community, why is it that we have to switch up? Why don't we make them embrace us the way that we are? Why do we feel like we have to go ahead and conform to what they do? You need to conform. If you want to mess with me, you conform to what I do. Why do we have to go to your spaces and then now we just got to, like you said, code switch and then conform and kneel to what it is you want us to do? Why can't we just be ourselves? Because most of us don't go home and talk like that. So we be in fraud.
So look, in the blaxploitation era, we had a language called jive talk.
Right.
I know about jive.
My father and Chicago Real is still talking right now to this
Good
day.
evening, y'all jive turkeys.
Hey, but Shannon though, Shannon. So
go ahead.
Even in those spaces of working with Paramount or any of the networks or whatnot, white people code switch the way that they talk amongst themselves, or even in the downtime that I have been on set with the majority of white people on set. They cussing and doing and saying all the same shit. But when they're in the office, that's something different. All that I'm saying, all that I'm saying is that there's a time and a place for everything. Again, like I stated, I understand
I'm with you on that one, Viz. I got you on that one. I don't want us to drag it on. I'm simply saying that y'all came at Marcus for saying talking white, and y'all specifically was on him because he used that term. I'm simply saying y'all know what he meant by that. Now, in terms
but
of
that's
a time and a place, I'm with you on that, Viz.
right. I only said that because how it, in my opinion, how it comes off to someone that may not be aware of that. So now we're carrying on this thought process that in order for me to look professional or carry myself in a respectable way in public, I have to act white, which is crazy, because that's not what it is. It's just you going outside and carrying yourself in a respectable way.
I got you, but see, I think Marcus, when he says that, he's talking to 8 brothers. He's talking to us. And so, so my mother told me one thing. So my mother, she retired from the county of Los Angeles. She used to give out food stamps and all that. She approved them, but it started in the 60s or the 70s. No, she started in the 60s and retired around the late 80s. And she told me that she would go to work. She said all of her friends, the white women in the office, would see her and her sister girls high five and talk and jive, and all the white women would look at her and the black women with the afros and all this in the 70s and would be envious of how the black women talked amongst themselves. And then when they had a board meeting or they had to go to a group environment or they had to go back to their desks, the women would switch up. And so she said that the white women would be jealous on how black people talk to each other because we had our own shit going on. When Marcus is talking to us at King Talk and he says, man, you know, talking white man, if he go up there and he's talking like white folk, it's odd for me to hear us say, what do you mean talking like white folk? When us is supposed to know what that means. I think that's where I'm at. It's like, I know what he meant. You know what he meant, but y'all are checking him like as if we are at giving a fucking commencement speech or something at Duke University.
So yeah, they can't check me because they gonna assimilate, and I'm gonna stay myself at the end of the day. So who checking who? You know what I'm saying? And I said assimilate.
I
said assimilate, right? Meaning take on the characteristics of another group. I ain't even say talking white. I said assimilate and hinted towards it. And then y'all filled in the blank, which further proves the point.
So you didn't say whiteness.
I said assimilate to whiteness. Oh yeah. I take that back. I think I did say assimilate to whiteness. I didn't say talking.
All that I'm saying. All that I'm saying.
Hold on. Let me just. I've been. Let me get my point out, Viz. Let me get my point out. Act like the good white man and just be patient.
Come on now. Like, come on.
Come on, man. Assimilate to the white man. But one thing I noticed though is the black people that maintain true to themselves with authenticity, they seem to somehow, if they get involved in corporate America, any of those things, they go further and then they make people assimilate to them. And those people like that.
But that's what I'm like. That's what I'm saying.
When you look at somebody like Meek Mills, when you look at Jay, and you look at all these other people that have moved through. I know, you know, he on the Diddy side right now. I get it. But when you look at the way that people represent themselves as their authentic self, I've never been a white man, so I can't tell. But when I see black people like switching where I know this is how you don't act and you're acting that way, I think it's the same thing as when you see a white dude come to you and be like, "What's up, my man? How you doing, brother?" Doing all of this extra stuff. If I was there, I'd be offended.
Be quick to say he talking black.
He talking black. Yeah, it's a caricature. And to further the point, if you only speak in the most eloquent tone, and yes, everything is this way, and I don't think that's an issue. If that's your voice, that's what I'm saying. Your authentic voice. If that's your authentic voice, I have no problem with that. I'm not saying you talking white. You talk like yourself if that's how you speak. But to ask a man who don't speak like that to start saying, "Well, yeah, I think anything is horrendous, and we need to make sure that we ban against them and we push a new crime bill so we can get some of these super predators off of the streets." I mean, God,
I'm gonna keep it G real.
Okay, so I think we're
taking it to the extreme with
now,
that, bro. Like, come on now.
I'm glad you said it, but I think we're talking about two different things. I think you're talking about.
All right. JR, what we got next? What we got next, JR?
Hey, I'm gonna say this real quick.
Let me just say one last thing.
Hold on, we're gonna go to Darwin, and then let's see if Kenny P want to add something. Let's move on to the next topic so we can make sure we.
I was all in agreement, but when you made your voice, I don't know what the term is for that. I don't know if it's changed. It's called changing your pitch. to talk proper or talk like you normally wouldn't. I don't think me and Viz was referring to that. I mean, he could still sound like he's from New York or whatever. I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about like, man, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Like, I was talking about that. I wasn't talking about, hey, I don't know where you. I think that's a difference.
Yeah.
If that's what you're talking about, I still stand on what I said at first, because even me, I'm educated and I'm professional, but I don't change the pitch of my voice or the tone of my voice to fit corporate America, or so to speak, whatever you, or whiteness, or whatever you say it is. So that's I just wanted to make that point.
I don't know. We gotta wait till you get that business phone call, and then you'll really be able to tell what kind of voice you have.
Yeah, we want to hear it. Gotta be a
I always
we,
get the
we
business
see
phone.
it. We see it all the time
I
with
got
50
voice
Wow,
recording.
how you doing, sir?
Is he gonna be Stephen A. Smith, or is he gonna be Pee Wee Herman and shit? We got to listen to him on.
Hey, but on some real shit, we see it all the time with 50 Cent. 50 Cent is probably one of the biggest thugs in America, you know what I'm saying, on screen. And 50 knows when to show what side when he's speaking to a specific group. He knows how to not go in there. Oh, like, yeah, he's not doing that. You know what I'm saying? He's sitting there and having a conversation with somebody, and he can be dead. He can be throwing jabs at the person in a very, kosher, using kosher vocabulary or whatever. It's all that I'm saying is that the bigger picture, I understand what he was doing, but the bigger picture of it, it takes a time in the place. But with saying that I was expecting for him to act white or simulate whiteness, like that's not what I'm saying at all.
All right, we got to go to Kenny P and transition. Go ahead, Kenny.
So pretty much from the gist of what I get, code switching is what the term is that you're trying to elaborate on. Great take, Viz, on how it's done, but I believe you should be able to adapt to any given situation that you're put in, because that helps you maneuver better through rooms where people that a lot of smiling faces, like a lot of, as Shannon would know, I'll call you and give you the 1-2s and all that bull stuff. So I believe there's a necessity for it, just as long as you're defined, you know who you are. You can look in the mirror and be proud of the man and be able to move through these rooms and get what you need to get. It's okay to be the Uncle Tom, but not the Sambo, if you get what I mean. Get the information from these rooms, learn to adapt within it, and bring that home. And I'll leave it there.
That's all that I'm saying. I agree with you 100%.
All right. Yeah, just tuning in. Welcome to King Talks. Make sure we hit that like button, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the chat, man. The chat is very active. I appreciate the engagement that you guys are doing. Let me go ahead and get to these super chats. MK Rich 499 says he did this on 60 Minutes and Bill O'Reilly. What was CNN thinking? Rich again says y'all missing it. If he says he knew anything on Diddy, now he would be called on the stand. Listen to what she asked. Gina 789. $10 says I agree with Viz and Bruiser. They stupid. Talking proper is not being white. You're conducting yourself in a professional manner. Gina again, $2 says, but stop associating common sense with being white.
Come on, man. Thank you. Say that again.
That's facts, Viz. Stop having that thought process. Harrison Davis, 199, salute. Shout out to the fellas. Gina again says, don't associate me talking like I got some sense to talking white. Talking white is talking like a surfer.
I must have struck a nerve with you. Your feelings hurt. It's okay, Gina. It's okay, Gina. My mama biscuits. It's okay, Gina.
Very unlikely. 499 says you got me. I don't say, yo, what up, fam, when I answer the phone at work. I want to thank everybody that has contributed to the platform thus far. A shout out to getting a point across. Appreciate everybody. Again, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to go ahead and play this clip and we'll get into it. Y'all ready? Good. All right, here we go.
boarded his flight and left without his wife when she insisted on getting Starbucks at the airport after he said they didn't have time.
Every couple, your blood pressure goes up when you hear the story.
As the plane was boarding, this husband called his wife 4 times to ask where she was. She finally answered on the 4th call and said that she was on her way back to the terminal and that the line at Starbucks was exceptionally long.
She should know that there's always a long line.
Yeah, where are you going?
At every Starbucks in every airport on Earth.
Husband went ahead and boarded the plane after the gate agent said they couldn't hold up the flight. He full on left his wife behind.
He can't hold the plane, but do you get on? That's the
I couldn't leave her. I couldn't leave her. You'd leave her?
Yeah.
Wow,
sure,
dude.
No.
Here's where I'm okay with it.
That's great.
If he says, "Oh, you want coffee? Let's see if there's some right outside the gate." Oh, look, there's some right there.
Yeah.
Have that. She says, "I'm going to Starbucks."
Yeah.
And he goes, "I'm leaving if you're not back in time."
Yeah.
Then I'm okay with it.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Husband boarded flight and left his wife. I'm gonna go with you, Hank. I know we had somewhat of a similar situation with the pastor, man, but if y'all going out the country, this is the only flight that's going there that day. What you doing?
So, yeah, I'll leave a woman at a restaurant. She get left at the goddamn airport. So I hope she enjoyed it at Starbucks. I mean, but I don't know if it's the same situation I've seen before where the guy was going to see his daughter. I think she was having a graduation. And the wife, went to Starbucks. I don't know if this is the same situation or a totally different situation than that. But if this is that same situation where her husband left her because he wanted to make his daughter's graduation, yeah, he did right. He should have left her because he gave her full warning. Now, you ain't gonna make the time. It's all the way on the other side. It's not a good idea. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Ain't no need us both have to reschedule a flight and pay 2 plane tickets to upgrade again. No, ain't no need. If one of us had to do it, it's gonna be on your ass. You're gonna have to figure it out. I hope you got the credit cards too. You know what I'm saying? I hope she got the credit cards on her. Because if not, she just gonna be assed out. Just take your ass on back home. Take a Uber, get your ass on back home, and I'll send you pictures. I'll send you video of the get together, of the trip, and all that bullshit. But yeah, that heifer, she deserved it.
I can't believe it, Jesus.
I did right. She should have been left for her silly ass, a selfish ass, going to Starbucks just to get a goddamn coffee. Fuck her.
Can we ask somebody who has a wife?
Fuck does that matter, Darwin?
About to tell you why. You want me to
Nah, bullshit. I don't give a shit if let my wife do it. I'm gonna leave her right now.
You ain't even heard what the hell I was gonna say. God damn.
Oh, you gonna say some dumb shit. I know it.
Tread lightly, Day.
God damn. Not the bullet's back.
Nah, man. I'm not leaving my wife at no damn airport, bro.
And there you are.
This is not your sister or your brother. We talking about your wife, bro. Come on, man. This is your wife. Anything could happen to her. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be able to live with yourself if some shit went down. You was in the air with no way to contact you or some shit. Some crazy people out here in this world. But I think it's a better way to handle this situation where you don't have to even put yourself in this predicament. If you know you close to the time where you got to freaking leave, she don't go get no coffee. If she don't go get coffee from right there, she don't get coffee, period. And that's why I think men got to grow their balls and put their foot down and show a little bit of leadership in that position and say, hey, look, if you go get some coffee from over here, you're going to be late. And then that means both of us is going to have to miss a flight because I'm not going to just leave you here. So I don't want you to go there. I don't approve of that. And that's when she got to be like, okay, baby, and sit the fuck down. That's what need to happen. Because I don't understand how you can just, if you go there, I'm going to leave you. You were really okay with leaving your wife. Like, God forbid y'all going on a fucking trip to go on a vacation and have fun for 3 days. The whole 3 days is going to be fucked, bro. If you know women like I know women. She going to be like, you left me, mother. You might as well just go home. You might as well just go home, bro. If you miss the flight, just go home, bro. I'm a yield.
So she had no respect for you to even tell you not to go. You to go over and get that goddamn coffee, but you okay with that? Fuck that heifer, man. That heifer gonna go back to the house.
We
and
talking
sit
about
in a
your
mystery.
wife.
And I don't give a shit, man. If that's my wife, she should have stayed right there beside me and went coffeeless and got one of them cheap ass coffee on the flight. Wait to where we got to and got a coffee at that airport. I mean, if you can't hold your tea that long enough, you can't go without the goddamn coffee. That's a problem. But you're gonna totally disrespect my wishes and go on and do what you want to do. Okay, heifer, you deserve to be left. Be mad to me all you want. You gonna go reschedule a flight, catch the next flight out. If that means the next goddamn day, that's your fault. Your ass should have stayed right here beside me, getting on this plane together. That's what you should have did. Instead, you chose to be selfish and do what you wanted to do. So I'm going to be selfish and get my big ass on a goddamn plane and enjoy myself until your black ass get there, and then I'll suffer. See your miserable face talking about you left me. Well, your ass shouldn't have never left.
Darwin, listen. You are. I'm with you half of that on what you said, but and I know you said let's ask somebody who's currently married, but that's irrelevant, especially for people like Hink who's been married. Somebody like me who's been married twice. Listen, you can't tell women shit these days, Darwin. They know it. It's tantamount to children calling 911 if you give them a whooping. See, when I grew up, there was no 911. The principal had a paddle for my ass. Then I got another ass whooping when I got home, and whoopings on door to door on the way there. Now, children is like, oh, you're not doing that because they know the freedom and the power that they have. So you can't move as a parent to your children the way parents used to do it. It's the same thing with women and wives. So any man who left his wife, he 100% has a backstory to that. There's more to that story. I mean, we got the cliff notes in the little video, but it's something that he said, fuck this shit. He was with Hink on that one. Because you know the reality of it is? You know the reality of it is, Darwin? Here's the thing. For the husband at the airport, he's fucked either way. See, if he would have waited with his wife, he would have been miserable back at home. That would have been a shitty situation. If he would have told his wife, you can't get no coffee, he would have been miserable on the flight. He's fucked either. No matter how you slice it, if she don't get to do what she wants to do, she's screwed. So what he chose was a peaceful flight and a couple peaceful nights at the hotel alone. Because if he had made her get on the plane, it would have been a fucked up ass vacation and certainly a fucked up flight at least. And if he would have stayed with her and they both missed their flights, his bank account would have been fucked up, and then he would have been arguing there. Women need to learn a little bit of that FAFO. You know, they haven't had that in so long that's where we're trying to instruct these young men. Like, hey, man, don't let them fuck around and find out. Women need to listen to their husband.
I agree with you. I agree with you in a sense, but what do you think is worse? If you would weigh the worst case scenario, what's the worst case scenario? That she don't get the Starbucks.
This is where he had history. I think the best case scenario for him was to get on the plane. I believe he waited because he knew his wife.
No. What I'm saying is, what is the worst case scenario as far as the woman being agitated or aggravated, him being fucked either way? What's the worst case scenario? Her having to get coffee at the little stand, or her not being able to fly with her husband in it?
Her not getting coffee at the stand and giving him a shitty ass fucking attitude the entire time because she's not getting her fucking venti latte, special sweet, whatever the fuck from Starbucks versus some black coffee on the plane. In his mind, it probably was better to just leave her, let her get her coffee and leave her ass.
All right, like I do got some more context. I just believe I found the story. It says, in this case, the husband was going to visit his daughter and left his wife behind because his wife insisted getting a cup of coffee before getting on the flight was more important. The husband boarded the flight and departed without his wife because she insisted on getting Starbucks at the airport. In the Reddit post, the 47-year-old husband described the situation he was in while trying to go see his 21-year-old daughter, who was at college. The husband had not seen his daughter for about 3 months. Usually they visit her a couple of times a semester, but it had been difficult because they live on the West Coast while his daughter goes to college on the East Coast. The husband explained that he is a very type A person. He likes to have everything organized and hates to be late. However, his wife, his daughter's stepmother, is the complete opposite. She has what he describes as a go with the flow attitude. Although he tries to work around her personality, he does not put up with it when it comes to traveling. He explained that last year there was an incident when they were going to fly out and see his daughter, but as soon as they got to the airport and went through security, it was too late. The gate to their flight had already closed. It took me attempting to wake her up 5 times before she eventually got up at 7:40 a.m., then wanted to make coffee, shower, and eat a bowl of cereal, he wrote. His daughter was very disappointed that they lost 2 days with her, so the husband was very determined not to disappoint her again. Like the tardy wife managed to make their first flight without a problem, but yeah, once they got to yeah.
So it was a
Oh,
domestic
she's
flight.
selfish as
Fuck
hell.
around
that
and
changes
find
everything.
out. You need
Selfish
to.
as hell.
In fact, he's probably helping her. He's teaching by leaving Darwin. I hear you saying, "Man, I'm not leaving my wife." You know,
Okay, I
well,
think you
they're
gotta
in the
let
airport.
off the gas pedal since we got context on me specifically, because it paints her in a different way now.
Well, you should have already known that.
No,
Nah,
you can't
dog.
do that. You
You
can't do
feel
that.
you
Nah,
feel
dog.
different now, D. You feel different now,
You
dog.
can't do that
You make
because
it seem
that's
like
the
he
reason
left
why.
the
That's the
innocent,
reason why I
loving wife
said.
that always listens and shit, is obedient, is always does what she wants, and she just had to have some goddamn Starbucks. You didn't need nothing else other than she needed to get Starbucks, and it was time for them to go. That's all I
Well,
needed to hear.
That's
I think
it.
it's changes. I think having all that added context makes things different.
Man.
I mean, if your wife is okay with you leaving and catching a flight without her, that's also different. But if she's of the assumption that you're gonna be there, and if y'all happen to miss it, y'all gonna miss it together. I mean, that's a whole nother different ball game.
Doc,
Without letting her know,
let's
like,
got
hey,
more
look,
context. Are you willing? Are you gonna leave your wife if that happened? Would you leave her now?
no, I would not. No, hell no, I wouldn't leave my wife.
We already know.
There it is. But
You
there
tell
it
her
is.
all
There-
your
We
secrets.
got your answer. We got your answer.
Hold on, I'm with you, Darwin.
You guys are asking Darwin a what if question because the reality is Darwin's wife wouldn't go get coffee
No,
if
Right,
Darwin told her
right.
not to. So a lot of times we throw these what if scenarios out there that wouldn't ever happen in the reality, because if we knew Darwin's wife, if we know Marcus's wife is gonna say, "Baby, I want to go get some coffee." Marcus say, "No, we ain't got enough time." She's gonna say, "Okay."
Thank you.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Facts.
That shit could work.
And
Facts.
that's the last point I made. And I think you said you agree with some of it. And you agree with, and I think that's the part where you agree with. Yeah, you got to
So-
have some balls. You got to be able to. And I get it. A lot of y'all women ain't gonna listen to y'all. Some of y'all struggle with that. You probably ain't putting it down right. No, I'm just fucking off.
No, what it is, she put it down on your ass. That's why you gonna stay and not get on that goddamn flight.
And that's why
what
you
that
tell
shit.
all
That could be
your
true.
secrets.
That could be true.
Love a
Mm.
boy.
Mm.
Did I
Kenny, you say
actually
certified lover
agree.
boy?
I actually agree with what you were saying, but it gives credence to a woman being out of line and having lack of respect for his child, because she could give two craps. My coffee is more important. You don't think you're at the airport and things move in a certain type of way? That don't play around with the flight. Make sure that you're on. Make sure you got your necessary identification. Make sure you don't have something in the carry-on that has you getting searched and getting wedgies and all kinds of stuff by the TSA people. It's structured. I got to get through this. I got to get to the area, and I got to get on the plane. If a woman, and it's his daughter, and he had messed up before, so you have enough information to say, this is my man. I know this is important to him. The coffee's not that important. I'm gonna get a juice and some sun chips on the plane.
So I think part of the context, I know I'm pulling this, it may seem out of nowhere, but I'm coming to the conclusion that she might not even want him to see his daughter. Like, she might be a stepmom sabotaging that relationship on purpose. And yeah, when you in that type of situation, first of all, man, if you marry a woman where you can't say no to getting some Starbucks, you fucked up already, bro. You should not be giving a relationship, especially no marriage, to somebody you can't tell, no, we're gonna be late, and she say, fuck what you talking about, and go get her coffee anyway. That's disrespect to the umpteenth level. She is all relationships do boil down to respect. Do she respect you or not? And if you can't say no and she honor that shit, she don't respect you. Don't fuck with her. Just keep fucking and let her go about her business. Don't be trying to, oh yeah, she cook good, she do all the other. Nope. Can I get a nope, JR? Nope. Tell her it's nope. To that relationship. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. For the audience, I'm not married, haven't been married yet, but I gotta agree with Shan on this one. Shan, all you guys, really. I mean, if it's my wife, she's not going to get no damn coffee. Period. Just the way I move and my relationships and how we do things. And I travel a lot. I mean, I've traveled almost 20 times this year so far. Like, I travel regularly. So whoever I'm with is going to be accustomed to traveling on a regular basis. So if I'm like, hey, we running late to the gate, fuck your Starbucks. Like, you should already know that by now. Like, hey, we running late, babe. We gotta go right now. We gotta go right now. And then the fact that he sat with the gate agent and tried to hold the plane as long as humanly possible for his wife. I mean, in my eyes, he did everything possible that he could do. Everything possible to say, hey, my wife's on the way. She's coming. I promise you, she's coming. Hey, she's coming. She's coming to the gate. She's almost here. And they're like, sir, Mr. Madden, we gotta go. I'm getting on the damn plane, especially it's to go see my daughter, and I have a daughter. So anybody I'm dealing with gonna understand that's number one. Period. Point blank. That is my loins. That is my child. I am going to see my child. You are not holding me back from me seeing my child. If you're my woman, we should be on the same page. You should be just as ecstatic as I am, if you mind. But if we're not on the same page, then that's a whole nother issue. But yeah, you having to go to Starbucks that bad, that means you have a different level of dependency. You have a caffeine addiction. Like, it's a whole lot of other shit going on. Or you just selfish as hell, disrespectful as hell. It's one of those or all the above. But yeah, I'm sitting right there in my first class, a business class seat, eating all the little snacks, have my little drink, get my little coffee, and then mix it up and have my little hottie toddy, whatever you call it. Shit, I'm good to go. And I'm gonna be relaxed, and I'm gonna see my daughter. And you know what, babe? You get the next flight out, whenever that is, or whether it's tomorrow, whether it's in a few hours from now. We'll see you when you get here. We'll be here. Don't worry about it. Enjoy your Starbucks, boo. Enjoy.
Here's the cold piece, real quick, Marcus. I don't know. This is really to Marcus. Marcus, I know you haven't experienced this, but many men have. Many men. Whereas in the dating stage, in the courting stage, in the fiance, in the butterflies, maybe early in the marriage, she listened to everything you told her. She was one woman that you dated and that you fell in love with and that you bought a ring for and you proposed to and you married. And then later she became somebody totally different. Suddenly she wouldn't listen to shit you say. No, you didn't do anything different. You didn't get fat. You didn't get, you didn't lose your job. She just changed. And you wonder, where the fuck did this person come from? Because this is not who I married. It certainly isn't who I dated. But now, if I tell her don't go get no coffee, she's gonna be like, whatever. She got the kids already, and she got the marriage certificate. So now she wants coffee, she's gonna go get it. But when you were dating her, Marcus, she She listened to any and everything that you said. There's a lot of men out there, and I'm glad that you haven't experienced this, that has experienced somebody who was dating one person, but married somebody else. And that's really scary for a lot of men because women can change like that. And they do it often as they get older.
Her representative.
How long was they dating before they got married?
No, he was just giving a random scenario.
Yeah. No, I get it. I'm saying, because I get what he's saying, right? Because people can like switching. I'm just saying, like, damn, it was no signs where you like this person just became, she was A and then she turned to B with no signs in between.
And there's always signs.
It's always a red flag. You know, we ignore we ignore a whole lot of red flags for some good
so that's the issue right there, the red flags. All right, the red flags.
The other thing that get me with this situation is that like she has a repeated history of this.
Yeah.
She's done this shit before and done it before again. Like she don't give a damn. He woke her up 5 different times to get her on the flight before that, like a different time. And he missed 2 days with his daughter.
Hey, but to keep it a buck, though, dude is into that. He likes that. Like that be the other part that people leave out. When men are with women like that, they like that shit. You know what I'm saying? Most men that deal with women that talk back, that insubordinate, you know, they just cause all type of situations and overreact and all this other stuff. Men that stay with women like that, they like that shit. And hey, if you,
I agree with you. You don't think it's a bait and switch situation, Viz?
I think that it does happen. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but as we all 9 of us men on this panel just agreed that if the double hand is solid enough and she throwing that muff, hey, I don't do nothing. When you ain't paying attention to none of that, man. So from my experience, from men that I see deal with women,
get that good.
That I see deal with women that act in that manner, they deal with it because they like that shit.
I agree with Viz. This is the world shifting. But look, I gave us the power of post-nut clarity for this specific purpose. If she can beguile you with her feminine wiles and make you so infatuated with her sexually, after you come, you're supposed to get clarity so you can see that situation for what it is. And at that point, you need to be like,
man.
You say what?
Because there's good pussy out there. No, there's good pussy out there, but then disrespectful pussy is something totally different. Like it could be as good as you want it to be, but if it's disrespectful pussy, you just like, I can't do it. You know, you get in it real quick and then you be like,
no, bro. I know.
You disrespectful. You disrespectful.
I know.
It's something in my heart.
Babies in them, bro.
That's true. There's something in my heart. I just can't. I can't align with it at all.
I think we're speaking from a different standpoint. Like I think we're forgetting that there's a lot of men who just have limited access to women. Right? It's very easy for us to just say, "Nah, don't be fazed by that." But there's a lot of men who have trouble obtaining women, and their standpoint is completely different. Right? Their view of women is completely different. If you have a scarcity mindset, you don't deal with many women. The first little thing that get their claws into you, you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna hold on to this, because they probably had bad experiences with them. Like say you was getting 3s all your life, and then a 5 come your way. Now you like, damn, I ain't never had none like this. Nah, I ain't about to let this go. Just because, no, real shit. Because you might not have had that experience, and if that's the best you've ever experienced, and everything else before that was a dud, you're gonna be looking up to her. And once a female realizes that you looking up to her, then it's a wrap for you, and she's going to treat you like that. To be real, he should have never married homegirl in the first place at all, because it sounds like he has OCD just from the details after that, right? It's beyond that type A. I think it's OCD. And if he has that, right, or anything even similar to that, he's going to have anxieties. He probably had an entire itinerary ready for him. So he had this set, that set, and she was just going to blow his whole shit that day. Like, so now his car rental appointment got messed up. Then he was supposed to meet somebody else, might be stop by a friend first, then go see his daughter. And the whole domino effect. Once one thing like that, one minor detail shifts, it'll blow your whole shit. Now your whole day's ruined, all your plans are done. And Phil, if you got a chick out of the pocket like that, she disobey a daughter, it is what it is. You stay right there. And I stand where you are, dog, because I couldn't fathom my behaving like that, right? There's no way. Like when we travel, she just follow what it is that I do. I don't have to be like, no. Nah, that's crazy. But I understand that there are some women who you can't tell shit, because I've fortunately dodged all those women that be out of pocket. I was like, oh hell no, she recreational, right? But not everybody has that discernment. A lot of people think that you can make her happy and fix her, right? Well, if I put her in a house, if I marry her, if I give her a couple kids, she's gonna get better. No, she's gonna get worse. And I feel like that's what he fell into. And at that point, you trapped, because now you don't want to lose everything. So he damn sure should have left her ass, right? Just because her being out of pocket, I wouldn't tolerate it, right? And I understand leaving your wife there or whatever, but nah, man, she should understand that too, because I couldn't see it. Like if I'm like, oh nah, that shit ain't working. This ain't, because I leave it enough time. I don't like play that Home Alone shit running through the airport. It happened to me like once where I woke up late, but generally I'm out here like, nah, we there early. It's cozy. You can get a cup of coffee. You can get whatever you want. I'm not going to try to run it like a drill sergeant. I'm going to give it enough time for us to do what it is that we do. You get what you want, but you're not going to wait till the last minute and be like, oh. Like, I'll regulate shit. I'll be like, look, I know you're going to have to use the bathroom in the next half hour. Go ahead now, so you can get back in enough time for us to get on this damn plane. Because you know how that go. Women be having them baby bladders and shit, and you got to keep stopping. So I regulate all that shit. I'm like, nah, we going to do this. You do this now. You do this now. And that's it. You have, as a man, you have to be a planner, and you got to take charge of the situation. Once you start letting a woman take the charge of the situation, or she feel like she could do some out of pocket shit like that and be like, yo, yeah, I'm about to just go ahead and get this coffee. We gonna make it. No, you're not. That shit is not happening. And if you decide that you're gonna do that, the hell with you. Like Hank said, leave your punk ass right over there. And I'll catch you on the rebound. When I get down there, I'm going to do what I do, because you ain't fucking up my whole day. How about that? You get your punk ass over there when you get over there. You call you Uber and all of that. That's how you feel when I tell you to do something and you don't follow my direction and I'm leading the shit. Hell with you.
All right, y'all. We got to transition, y'all, to the next topic. Gina, 789. $5 says they must not have been around black folks that know how to carry themselves. Y'all better catch up and move around different circles.
Hey, Gina putting up money where her mouth is.
Gina, $2 says, yeah, you struck a nerve because I was called white. Harrison Davis 199 says facts hinks. She can enjoy her grande latte. Advanced perception, $5 says women nowadays think the world will stop for them. As such, they feel the rules do not apply. Not following directions have consequences, period. Lastly, BZ, $5 says, Viz preacher. Most men, myself included, attracted to crazy. It's a weakness. Thank everybody that's contributed to the platform. Again, shout out to the chat. I see you guys are very active in there. If you are watching and not a part of the chat, you need to go ahead and engage, man. It's a fun place to be. Let's go ahead and switch the gears. We're going to start discussing infrastructure of the black family. Infrastructure of the black family. Nick Cannon and Dr. Umar Johnson, they are having a civil discussion. I got a few clips to get through, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a clip. I have a few people talk, maybe a couple, and then I'm going to play another one. So just make sure we kind of like going along with the flow of the conversation. So here's the first video. Trauma in the home.
With the COVID quarantine, Brother Nick, when the kids had to stay home.
Yeah.
The suicide rate for black girls went through the roof.
Really?
What was it about COVID quarantine that led so many of our teenage girls to start taking their lives?
Wow. And isn't it a statement, again, I may be paraphrasing it, but they say the lowest
elderly black women historically were the lowest group. And middle-aged white men were the highest suicide group.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So black women.
Black girls.
Okay.
No, black women is increasing.
Really?
Yeah, black women never used to commit suicide.
At
now
all.
they are.
Yeah.
But black girls are the fastest growing since COVID.
Wow.
And my particular belief around this issue, Brother Nick, Even though public school is horrible for our children,
Yes.
it was one of the only times our children could get a break from the trauma of the home. Do you see that? I might not be learning,
Right.
but I ain't got to get bullied by my brother.
Right.
I ain't got to get molested by my uncle. I ain't got to get emotionally traumatized by my mom. I ain't got to worry about the abandonment of my dad. You see that?
I see that.
So for school, although they're not learning, for many of them, it was the only break they could get.
Right.
And just to double back on that ADHD topic really quick, Nick, I often find two competing explanations for so-called ADHD. One you already hit on because you went through it.
Right.
And that is a gifted child whose giftedness is being ignored and blamed on ADHD.
Right.
He ain't got ADHD, he's smart. And the curriculum ain't challenging him.
Right.
That's why he hyper and inattentive, because he's bored.
Right.
The other one, brother Nick, is a child who comes to school dealing with emotional problems from home and can't focus on the work because I'm reliving the trauma of the house.
Right.
So now we got these teenage black girls committing suicide. And one of the reasons why they're committing suicide is the fatherlessness has made them vulnerable to so many types of abuse and exploitation that they take in their own lives.
Right.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the first part of it, trauma in the house. We'll go ahead and start with you, Kenny P. What were your thoughts about this, sir?
Listen, despite Umar and his other antics, if you go and stat check the facts, he's pretty much on point. And it just shows that something I pointed out in the prior show about us not healing from trauma, if you're talking about our community, is very high. Then you put us in enclosure where we have to stop because we're always on the go and assess and look in the mirror. A lot of people don't like what they see. And then the problems that they had, now they come to full fruition and they have nowhere else to escape it. A lot of people go to work and just keep their problems, behind and stuff like that. But then you don't have no movement. So now you have to address it. DVs went up, all type of situations domestically. It escalated during the pandemic, as they pointed out. So it's just you having to address your problems once you're enclosed. And the stats are there to prove it. I digress.
Anybody else want to have something to say on that one?
Yeah, and I agree with Kenny, and I know often these type of conversations we kind of bump heads on, but I absolutely agree that we aren't creating the spaces that we need for our people to heal. And I think a big part of that is the fact that we continue to regurgitate the same information and thoughts and perspectives that is literally influencing us in a negative way. I understand that there are terrible things that happen inside the Black home, but that happens because everybody is in a painful environment. They're holding on to painful shit. So if they're holding on to painful shit, they're in a painful environment and they're going on the internet, they're hearing people talk about things that's not going to uplift them and give them hope, then there is no hope. You're just going to be stuck in this constant cycle that you'll never be able to get out of. So that's a big reason why I stand so strong on giving people information to get out of those ruts, to not allow for your mindset, because your mind creates everything. How it is that you think controls your lifestyle. It controls if it controls if you're motivated to go out and do better and make yourself better, to seek the knowledge, to be better, to get more out of life, compared to just constantly being told that we won't make it, that life is going to be terrible. You always going to be stuck in the hood. You're going to always meet a man that's going to molest you or beat you up or whatever. If we speak more life into people, if our homes create more life, even though they are destroyed and in trauma, but if we create more life and speak that into people, I think that we will see a much greater change than what we've been seeing.
All right.
Real quick, before you go to the next clip, I want to just point this out that I believe Kenny's explanation seems more plausible to me than any of the ones that Umar mentioned. Well, most of the ones that Umar mentioned in there, and a little bit of that Biz mentioned. Like, for instance, Umar was saying, molestation from uncles. He mentioned abandonment from the father. But let me flip that. I'd rather say, these young teenage girls. What Umar probably didn't expound on, because this is something we talked about on a different podcast, on another show that I was on, was that most of all the girls that deleted themselves were in single parent homes, and just her and her mom. It was the mothers that didn't give a shit about them, in my personal opinion. And we know our people. So I'd say that those girls were unprotected by their mothers, because the mothers couldn't protect them, which is one of the important reasons why men need to be there. Oftentimes not abandonment, like as it was so eloquently put by Umar, but we know how that goes. That's a whole different argument, but y'all know how I feel about that. Then also, social media played a role, in my personal opinion. The wildly high beauty standards that social media places on these young girls today is crazy, man. And when these young girls couldn't meet those beauty standards, they delete themselves. And when you got people out here, when these young, this is 2020 that this happened. And so everybody had an iPhone, everybody had an Android, everybody had Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all this other kind of stuff. And you locked into your room all day long, because you're not in school. You locked into your room all day long, and you scrolling and swiping, and all you do is see the Kim Kardashians out there, and all you do is see all these lashes and hair and all this stuff. And if you couldn't afford to get that kind of stuff, or even if you did get it, but you still didn't look like what you were told that you should look like, it's the way women are wired. So, oh my God, I can't believe it. If they have a pimple, they lose their mind. They delete themselves. So I believe in Kenny's assessment on why it happened more so than what Umar was kind of. I think he was trying to play the role again. You know how I think he tries to play his audience.
Sensationalize.
Yeah, I just want to throw that out there, JR.
All right, I'm gonna go into the topic, and then let me just go ahead and play this one, and then I'll come to you right next, Trev. Next one is every woman needs a man who generally loves and cares about her, but not sexually.
Recently was part of a situation
Wow.
where a girl in a high school in Philadelphia, we found her in the girls' bathroom, wrist slit.
Wow.
Guess why? Her boyfriend broke up with her. That is how desperate a lot of our girls are, because of the absentee fatherism. And when I say fatherism, I don't just mean her biological.
Right.
I'm saying black men. Because here's the thing, Brother Nick. Every woman on the planet Earth, and of course I'm focusing on my sisters, but I want what's best for the others as well. But I'm gonna focus on us. Every black woman needs a black man who genuinely cares and loves about her, who doesn't want what's between her legs. You understand me? Yeah. Normally, that's your father. But a lot of them, the fathers ain't there. That could be your grandfather. He might be an ancestor. Right. That could be your uncle. He might be stationed off in the military zone somewhere. You understand? Facts. Every girl needs a man who's intimately in love with him, but not sexually.
Right.
When she don't get that, she go looking for that. Right. And that's why we got a teenage pregnancy problem in the black community. Right. If we didn't have a fatherlessness problem, there would be no teenage pregnancy problem. Yeah. Teenage pregnancy is not about sex. Right. It's not about promiscuity. Yeah. It's about a girl looking for the father's validation. And because he's not there, she goes shopping elsewhere.
All right. Every woman needs a man who generally loves and cares about her, but not sexually. Go ahead, Trev.
Yeah, so what he's mentioning right now, I'm going to bring right back to Shannon's point about the beauty situation. During that time period, the beauty industry was one of the very few industries that did not see a dip. And people are inside and home. How the hell is that, right? And
Kylie Cosmetics.
The word he used was validation. Women, well, young ladies have become addicted to this validation. They see a way of getting it through the social media now, and us as men sometimes we contribute to that wrong validation, and it's problematic. And these women, these young ladies, definitely need fathers in their lives. We could go over and over about every single metric that is worse without the father being present, or at least some prominent male figure that's in their lives that could not just want to take advantage of them, but be able to teach them, right? Show them their worth, tell them that they are beautiful. So they're not searching for this validation, right? Learn the nature of men and what to look for and what not to look for and how to be respected and be respectful. These are, that's one of the things too. And that's what makes them pretty much not value men in the first place. They never had them in the picture. So why would they feel like they ever need a man if they weren't around doing anything positive to contribute to their lives? Why would they appreciate a man? So it's extremely important for them to have that. And we have to figure out different ways of breaking that vicious cycle, right? It's a terrible thing to hear stories like what he was talking about in Philadelphia. What could we do to counteract that? What can we do as men to counteract that? Like, you know, most of us on the panel, or if not everyone here who has children, we see the importance of being in our sons and our daughters' lives, and we give them that time and we play with them. And some of us even wild out and paint nails and all that if you have to, right? Just to spend time with your daughter, right? That's what we do. We do. Listen, I didn't do that. My wife is here, so I didn't have.
No, I be doing the tea party and playing dolls. I definitely play dolls.
Listen, I don't. Tea parties are real.
I saw that look, Shan. I fortunately haven't had to because my children have both parents, fortunately. But we
don't you
let
me find a picture of you wearing a tutu.
Nah, you never see it. But it's important for us to be there, and we have to care enough, and we can't. We have to be responsible about it, man. Like, just be careful with your seeds. Be careful where you plant your seeds. Just understand that. Listen, man, even if you don't want that woman in your life, man, just try to figure out some type of amicable arrangement to where you can spend time with her, some one-on-one time, just to have that bond with her, because she's going to need that male bonding. That's not sexual. I truly believe what he said with that. That part is legit. He kind of threw me off before with the other subject where, you know, about the ADD situation, because that's different. Like, that's a neurological disorder, right? That affects your nervous system. So if you are diagnosed with ADHD, then you probably have it, right? So I don't really want to. I'm not gonna harp on that too much. But we shouldn't be over.
No. Remember, there's a difference between ADD and ADHD. They added the hyper
I know.
on the DSM-5. Yeah, so they can. So sometimes the ADHD isn't necessarily a neurological. Where the ADD, you're right, ADD is. I think they threw the H in there, the hyper part, to reclassify it to get money. But that's just me. I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Well, that's a money grab. That's a whole nother situation. That's a money grab, but. Our sons and our daughters, they need us, right? And females were just more impressionable. They're going to be more susceptible to that emotion, and sometimes make decisions. They're more likely to make decisions based on emotions, right? A lot of men will get through it. I can understand why he said the other demographic is out there like that too, because when they get them situations, they're not used to that. Like a lot of us, man, we grew up in the struggle. We were kind of built for that. Right. So we've always experienced it. So like if I had to go back to oodles and noodles, I'm going to hate that shit, but I'm not going to kill myself. Like I'm cool. Like I'm just going to be like, damn, I got to rough it, man. We're going to have to rough this out. Whereas some people just can't fathom that. They can't see themselves ever being broken. You see a lot of people, like you saw the dude who jumped off the tower and all that. Once he realized he was going to go broke, that was it for him. They can't face some type of circumstances. They're not used to that. It's foreign to them. Whereas we were a lot of us, we came up in the struggle and we had to bring it out the mud, or at least seen our parents get out the mud. And we had to do a lot. We had the hand-me-downs, right? I had the old sneakers, man. You know what I mean? I had to water those when I was younger. My parents couldn't really get that for me. But, you know, it was a struggle and got clowned for it. But I was used to it. And I'm like, damn, I'm going to try not to ever be there again. But if I had to, and it came down to it, man, I'm going to survive. I let it go.
So I think that I 100% agree with him that every woman, young and old, especially children, especially in their formative years, need somebody that does not view them sexually, that plays a male leadership role, that affirms and validates who they are, helps them understand their power and help them achieve the ultimate form of self-confidence, or forms of self-confidence to keep them where they can see themselves in comparison to the fake pictures online and be able to stay grounded in reality. It also sounds like there's a shortage of men in these homes, or a shortage of men that actually want to be, father figures to them. I wish there was a solution for the minority of men that actually care about helping the families to help those other families. Anyway, predators usually look to kids without a father figure around. The sexual assault, the getting indoctrinated into the gang life, all those things come from not having a male there to protect you from the outside world, unless you just have the most rebellious kid ever. And there's probably a reason for that too. Yeah, as men, we got to just figure out where we can help and fill in the gap if you care. Some people don't, but if you do care, you got to figure out where you can help and fill in the gap. So, even if it's the small amount of time you around these kids, you trying to steal something in them that they can carry with them to the next time you see them. And if you with them every day, make sure you reinforce it. Personal affirmations and stuff like that to make them see themselves in a light that's extremely positive.
So
There was a solution, Marcus.
Yeah, the solution is the community. The solution is rebuilding the community. The solution is modifying the culture. This is happening like that because of what it is that's the norm. Look at it's just looking at the shit that we make the norm is destructive. So anybody is gonna fall victim to it.
Viz, what percentage of men would you say are in a position that they can step into a household and be a positive change for those kids and that woman?
You said what percentage of men can do that? What as of like right now?
Yeah. If you was to say like, I think all the men are in a position to adequately come in, emotionally regulate, help the mom get things on track, and still disciplining the kids, provide a valid role model and example for those kids. What percentage of men you think it is?
So I'm honestly I'm not a percentage and stat person. I'll let that be y'all thing. But I would say that it's 50-50.
More than that. It's more than that.
I'm
a lot of men that can step in and do that.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I think all men can, but are all men willing to? Are all men willing to invest what it takes to do that? So that's why I say it's 50-50, because you know what I'm saying, it's like one of these type of deals.
Well, I think Marcus is asking you about capability, not interest, but what percentage of single men are in a position that they can come in and be a positive and instrumental role in the life of a young child that doesn't have a dad around. I would argue a whole lot of single fathers can do that.
In that case, I would agree with you on that for sure. Because
and here's the thing: we used to I was a stepdad. My last wife, I met her, 10-year-old and an 8-year-old. Brought them in, raised them, bought them cars, gave him game. The game I give on this show, I gave it. You know, men in growing up, it was champion. You were champion to be a stepdad because when you came into a woman's life that didn't have a man for whatever reason, listen to him. The mother would instruct the child, instruct us. Because I'm 51, I'll be 52 next month. But when I was in the 70s, your mama told you, listen at him and follow what he say and do what he say. Because he's here to make things better for us. We're going to respect him, so on and so forth. Something switched. And it wasn't the men. It wasn't like the men just got shiftless and didn't work no more, and we got lazy and just started becoming gangster rappers and shit. That wasn't the case, you know, far and wide. Something changed. Yeah. And what it changed was, well, I want to talk about what changed. I do know one thing, men ain't taking that deal no more. Men are like, oh, you know what? I know what y'all used to do, Shan. I know what your pops used to do. I know what y'all niggas did in the 80s. We ain't doing that right now. And so the young guys is looking at women with children because, and if they come in, do I have the autonomy to be able to take care of this child? Marcus asked, can the men that could come in? Okay. What does the guy get? Can he come in, put all his resources, all his knowledge, bring all his stuff to take care of that child? Does he get the autonomy over that child? Does he get to be able to discipline that child? Does he get recognition and credit from that child? Does the mother, in the event that the child wants to do something that the mother doesn't want him to do, but the father does he get the final say? So it's a whole lot of stuff that guys are saying, damn, the deal, I don't like this contract. This contract that you're giving me is not that good. It's not the same one that my father had. The one my father had, the one my stepfather had was way better than the one that I'm getting today. The argument as to why that changed, that's a whole different show. But we had it. It's just not here no more. And now the stepdads aren't being championed like they were. Go ahead, JR.
No, I'm saying I got to switch gears for a second to go to the next video. Then we get to some of the guys that haven't spoken on yet. Black people are the last to get married and the first to divorce.
Bring this to the black on black love. Yeah. As you know, black people are the last to marry and the first to divorce. And the black woman is the last to get married and the first to get divorced. Right? Now, because we are the most traumatized community, that trauma automatically affects our relationships. You can't talk about healthy black male-female love if you don't talk about black on black community dysfunction.
Right.
Why would the family be functional if no other institution is?
Right.
You see that? Don't divorce the family from everything else we got going in the community, which is dysfunctional. Now, too often, Nick, from a psychological perspective, we go into relationships looking to fulfill needs that our parents never did.
Right.
So the relationship is a means to an end of getting something you never got.
Right.
And the main things we're looking for from our opposite partner, we're looking for intimacy and love. We're looking for availability and presence. We're looking for trust and dependency. And we're looking for reciprocity and the ability to share. Those are 4 things you needed from your mother, 4 things you needed from your father. If you got both, you can love and you can leave. If you didn't get both, you might be unstable, insecure, and unstable in certain areas.
That's power. That's more powerful than the 5 love languages.
You see,
you need to coin that and write a book on that.
And on top of that, brother Nick, what the opposite gender parent did to you or didn't do matters most. See, my father could have been present. My father and I could have been intimate father-son, healthy. My father could have been trustworthy. We could have been able to share and exchange. But what if I couldn't do it with my mom?
Didn't get any of those.
Do you see that?
Right.
I'm going to look for a woman to do for me what my mother could not. You ever been in a relationship with a woman where you felt like you was more than a husband? You had to be the father too. See that? That's where that comes from, Nick. She had an unmet need. Daddy didn't do it. So now I need Nick to do this. And you weighing on me too much because I'm your king. But now you want me to be your dad. I didn't sign up for both roles. And you draining me. I love you, but you draining me. If you don't pull back off this father role, I might got to leave this relationship because in essence, what you have become to me is a spiritual vampire. What is a spiritual vampire, Nick? A spiritual vampire is a psychologically, emotionally unhealthy African floating around the community looking for somebody to heal illnesses and injuries to their soul that only their parents can fix.
Wow.
Emotional vampires think that if I find the right man, if I find the right woman, he can heal me. No, he can't. That damage was done by your family of origin, and it got to be repaired there. You ever watch one of those old horror movies, Freddy Krueger, Jason or something, and they want to finally kill Jason or Freddy,
Right.
and the person comes and tell them, you got to go back to where they was born. You got to go back to the beginning.
Right.
The same thing is in relationships.
The origin story.
The same thing is.
Let's go ahead. Black people are the last to get married, the first to divorce. Who haven't spoken yet? Want to get to you guys first.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go in. I'll jump in. Whew. All right, that's a lot to hit on. First, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna start with like the kids first, and I'm gonna jump to the relationships. First, I shout out to Dr. Umar. I've done some panels with him before in the past. You know, he's really great, especially when it comes to, you know, child psychology and what's going on in the schools and whatnot. I think he's phenomenal in that aspect. I know people give him a hard time in other aspects, but I think he really knows his stuff. So, with the numbers of the young ladies, like teenage Black girls and whatnot, deleting themselves, it is scary. It's super scary, simply because of the fact of, you know, I agree with a lot what Shan said. You know, social media was built for women, with women in mind. When it comes to the scrolling, when it comes to the advertisements, when it comes to selling products and whatnot. Right now, I don't know if everybody realizes this or not, but Black women are the #1 consumers in America right now. Black women have passed up white women as the #1 consumers in this country. That means they spend more money than anybody else. They spend more money than anybody else on products and services, and restaurants. They are the #1 demographic to advertise to. I don't know if you guys notice this or not, or people at home notice this or not, but if you notice that more than ever, you see Black women in advertisements. I mean, on commercials, more than you've ever seen in history. It's not because of Black girl magic. It's because Black women are spending that cheese. That's why. That means because that demographic is the most susceptible to spend money emotionally because of what type of day they might have had that day. They had a great day, they want to celebrate. They had a bad day, oh, I need to spend some so I feel better. You know, because of getting together with their friends for brunch, trying that new brunch place, or getting some mimosas, or getting something to drink. The demographic of Black women in drinking has gone up tremendously. I mean, a lot of women are drinking like our fathers did, or our grandfathers did. I mean, when it comes to wine sales, when it comes to champagne sales, and when it comes to hard liquor, more than ever before. Now, one might say there's more problems nowadays, but I mean, come on. We're not. Last I checked, folks aren't getting their ass cheeks bit by German shepherds and not getting hosed down by the fire department. I mean, it's a different kind of problem, you know. So, but yeah, social media was made for women. It had women in mind when they created it, and when you have young female minds that are looking through it, especially young female minds that are going through hormonal changes, that, you know, aren't fully aware of who they are and have a strong knowledge of self, that are confused a lot of the times, that are hyper emotional because of their hormones and what's changing in their bodies because they are teenagers, and doesn't have the same value for life yet because they just haven't grown up and matured yet. And, you know, kind of like what they were saying, some of the absent fatherness going on in a lot of these households, because men and fathers are what help give you that identity. They pour that identity into their children. They let you know exactly who you are, where you come from, and give you that strength and that strong sense of pride of who you are and how you should value yourself and how you should move forward in life and how you should carry yourself. I'm sure there's been a lot of single moms out there that have done a good job with their sons or done a good job with their daughters in the past. But at the end of the day, that male essence has to be, you know, either in the household or orbiting that household, whether it's a father, grandfather, uncle, older brother, somebody that, like Dr. Umar said, that loves them in spite of what's in between their legs, because that is paramount. I mean, I don't know who mentioned it earlier, but you talk about young girls that, you know, was in the bathroom because maybe they were bullied, or, you know, their emotions are kind of all over the place, or their boyfriend broke up with them. Searching for that love, searching for that self-worth, you know, externally is dangerous and it's scary. And if you're searching for it online too, that just can lead to a whole nother dark place. So yes, we need to be in there with our daughters. We need to be there for our young ladies. We need that. They need it. We need it, and that will make our community a lot stronger. The next piece, Dr. Umar was talking about what he calls spiritual vampires. I mean, I don't know where you guys are from. Where I'm from, we call them succubuses. The succubus energy, a woman that comes in and drains you emotionally, physically, emotionally, all the above, is not a great thing at all, because you literally have nothing left in the tank for them. You have nothing left in the tank left for yourself, and you're no good to anybody else, because they have literally monopolized all of your energy, all of your mental energy, all of your emotional energy, all of your sexual energy, all of the above. And you're no good to anybody after that, because you just, honestly, you want to get away, because you have to recharge. You have to get your Kundalini energy. You have to get all that stuff back. You got to get your spiritual energy back. You got to get back in alignment, because, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'm sure there's some guys on the panel that have ran into women in their past that, you know, needed a father figure. And you were not only her man, you were not only dating her, but you were also a father figure to her. You were like her daddy. I mean, and I don't know, is it because of, you know, my energy or my voice, whatever, but I've gotten that. I've gotten that. I've definitely dated women who needed a father figure, and I was daddy and I was their man. And that's a lot to ask for. Just because of just the state that our community is in. We got a lot of young ladies that didn't have a dad, that didn't have father figures around and whatnot. So, fellas, just be weary of that. Know what you want, but at the same time, we got to find a way to overcome a lot of these issues. We have to find a way. You got to go for. You got to find what's mentally, emotionally healthy for you at the end of the day. You know, everybody doesn't have to have every single box checked that you're dating, who you're dealing with, but find somebody that checks the boxes that work best for you. And we have to come to the table and we have to address our issues. Whatever issues they are, we got to figure that shit out and work on them, because it's not their job to do it. Everyone's got something going on with them, but we got to do our best to figure out what that something is and figure out what we need from our partners so that we can have a better situation. Because if we're always the last ones getting married and the first ones to divorce, I mean, our divorce rate is already over 80 percentile. You know, Black women file for divorce on Black men for at 80 percentile at this point. You know, so we got 79%. It's around there. It's bad. It's bad. I mean, there's no 50-50 there. So we got to find a way to get along, love each other, and figure out what we really need from each other at the end of the day. So I'm gonna land it there.
So have we figured that out? Like, I get we keep saying the father need to be in the house, and I've even They even made content on that, on the importance of it, the statistics around it. I mean, we just be beating this dead dog, but like, even if the father is in the house and the relationship, I mean, the kid has a chance, but the relationship fails, then there's another layer. You know what I'm saying? There's a layer underneath the father being there. Like, cause okay, now the man and woman can't even get along to stay in the household in the get-go. So now I think it's time to try to poke at that layer.
So are you saying more so look at the dynamic of the relationships between the mother and the father, aside from the relationship with the father and the child? Because I mean, a lot of the issues that we're speaking on has to do with the father not being present at all, or them not knowing the father, or them not having the relationship and the knowledge of what the father brings in order for them to be a complete person.
Right. So then we would
Emotionally.
all agree that the issue starts before the father leaves the household. There's something going on in that household, in that relationship between that man and that woman, that we just cannot put our finger on. We can't paint it with a broad brush, because then they call us putting everybody in a box. But if it's happening at a high rate and it's common, the common denominator is our people. It's something it's something somewhere. There's an intersection that we can look
There's
at it.
something going on. There's something going on within the culture. There's something going on within the culture, like that's moving, at the speed of light. There's something that is going on with groupthink. There's something going on with trends. There's something going on with lifestyles that people think they want to live, or fantasy lands, Disney type of fantasies that certain people think, mostly women, that want to live, or the idealistic that they have in their head that may not come to fruition. And if they're okay with living a life that's just not exactly what they dreamed about or fantasized about per se.
Somebody told me to read I haven't read it yet, but somebody told me about a Willie Lynch letter or something. And they said that could be the reason. It's like a curse that had been over Black people, and that's what's causing us to not want to like intermingle, or we don't have any compatibility, or we like just hateful towards each other. I'm gonna have to read it to get more context.
I love how you spin the block. Okay, just tap me on the shoulder. Did you read it yet?
No. I said I'm gonna read it to get more context, to figure out like, what caused it or whatever.
Man, I'm gonna just be the oddball and say, man, fuck that Willie Lynch letter. We know what the problem is. We see that it's our community. We see that it's our culture. The problem is directly in front of us, and so is the solution. We can talk about this Willie Lynch letter for God knows how long, and we've been talking about it. I'm me personally, I'm 37. Let me finish, Kenny. I'm 37. For at least since I was 8, I've been hearing about this Willie Lynch letter. So if this is something that we've been acknowledging for this long, and we haven't been able to overcome it, man, fuck that letter. We see what the problem is. Let's address it. Let's get our community back together. Let's bring back the value. See, the problem is that we don't have any value for the culture, for the community. There's no longer a value of family. There's no longer a value of the Holy Trinity of man, woman, and child. So of course that is going to happen, and it's not going to change until we change that. And we have to be proactive at it by making the better solutions and better choices in what it is that we give our energy to. And that's just my opinion.
Okay, that's it's easy to say F something. When you're diagnosed with something, they have to get down to what it is first. And the trope that they commonly say, and I'm sure all of us know it, if you want to hide something from a Black person, put it in a book. A lot of people said they heard of the Willie Lynch letter, Can you give me any details since you said F it, what it instructed?
I couldn't even tell you because I've never invested my energy into it.
So that means all that you said was null and void. That
So
was a
weird, but I'm the only
that,
one that gave a solution.
that was a blueprint. If you don't know what your ailment is, how are you going to provide a solution? If you tell me my toe hurt and you said rub some shoot some Windex on it, is that fixing it?
So
No, you have to be able to know what you're dealing with and then build up from that point. The Willie Lynch, if you want to know, I will tell you. It is a blueprint of how they got West Indian slave owners to come and teach the slave owners on the U.S. continent how to better subjugate their slaves. And the premise goes on till these days, because we never got healing. We never sat down as a group and clinically diagnosed what we're going through. There's a lot. I'm not saying that we can use it as a crutch, because there's many that are higher thinkers that have been put in positions that are far away from it. But on a whole, the community is not healed. Because you ever heard the term misery likes company?
So Kenny,
hold on, let me get it.
I've heard that term.
Okay, if you've been in a group of blacks in urban society, how I grew up, the day you have a nickel more than them, a pair of Jordans that they can't have, and it's just sad to say they're gonna hate on you, probably rob you for them, instead of congratulate you. In this life, we're taught to look down on those that work that much harder, and they don't understand the catalyst of where that comes from. You have to know the blueprint of why blacks hate blacks, why we commit crimes because of vicinity. And that doesn't happen on a whole if you did the research with whites.
So
even though they commit more crimes, but if you did it per person, you don't see that. Why do you see pissy elevators and bottles broken and crack vials and liquor stores next to gun shops in our environments, and you don't see it in their rural environments? This is all part of that blueprint.
So I'm not sure if you didn't hear me, so I'll say it again. Simply is that there's no value amongst our own selves. So once we begin to value ourselves, that Willie Lynch letter won't matter. That's
Can you show us? Can you tell us?
It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that.
It's
If
deeper
you cannot
than us
see yourself
valuing.
as something, if you cannot see, many don't have the fundamentals, because the mental subjugation that you got put in, buck breaking, you realize that you're still getting buck breaked today, but not as a large scale as it is before. It's just as more publicized that you have media. You would say,
And Kenny,
slow.
No, but what I want to know is,
Kenny, and they have refined. They have literally refined this playbook and adopted it to modern times and modern advertising. And they got Sambos and whatnot that just bend over and twerk now, and sell you other stuff. They got those type of people that are supposed to be, that people look up to, or people worship, or people download their music or download their videos, and all they're doing is polluting the minds of the next generation, the young girls that are coming up, the younger boys that are coming up now. It just gets a continuous cycle on and on and on, but it's not as hands-on as it used to be. It's not as blatant as it used to be, but it's pushing us enough in our subconscious mind to put it in our face, so we see it over and over and over again until we just eventually decide to conform. It's a different way of subjugation. It's a different form of subjugation. It's a different form of control that's even on YouTube, that's even on our laptops and our iPads today. You just got to know what you're looking at when you're looking at it. And us as grown ass men that I would like to think that are a higher level of thinking may recognize it off bat, but then there's most younger people, which is their target audience, that won't understand what they're looking at. And when they do look at it, they think that's just the way of the world. That's how the world's supposed to be, because that's what's being marketed to me.
So fellas, if to directly piggyback off of that, right? If we are supposed to be sharing with the younger generation how not to fall victim to that, literally what I just heard from what I stated is literally excuses. If we're creating the excuses and we're regurgitating the excuses, at what point, if the younger generation has this already up against them and we're not even giving them an inch of hope of saying, fuck the Willie Lynch letter, we can do this, we can pull out of this, we have to value ourselves. Once we value ourselves, that is the shift. I just don't understand how, like, we if we want to see a change, we have to imply the change. If
you gotta know what it is first, Viz.
We know what it is.
Know,
bro.
you didn't
How do you
read the
know
letter.
what it is?
No, you didn't even read the letter, Viz. You didn't read the letter. You don't even know what it is.
Exactly. That makes you a hypocrite.
How you gonna say
How you gonna say
fuck the letter?
Because
you don't know what it's in.
You guys, listen. Okay,
why do I have to read a letter for something that I see every day?
Viz is right.
Yeah,
listen, we know. Okay,
come on, man.
The Willie Lynch letter is fake. Okay, if you guys don't know it, I studied it. I took Black Studies in college. The letter is fake in and of itself.
No, it's not. It's not that, because I studied the same thing. No, it's not.
Look at the power that you're giving.
I can go to the document. I know which one you're talking about. The construct for buck breaking slaves, which they use the term Willie Lynch. They have a different text for it. From the West Indian slave owners. I will find it and send it to you.
Okay, find it and send it to me, because the Willie Lynch letter, as we know it, it was never discovered. It was never found. It just appeared on the internet around 2001. Nobody the Willie Lynch letter wasn't even a letter that anybody talked about in the 90s or the 80s. I was there. The letter has words that's in it. If I recall, I think the word indoctrination, that word wasn't even used for another 100 years, because the Willie Lynch letter was written in this quote, was supposed to have been written in the 1700s. We didn't even use words like indoctrination until the 1800s. And I think another word was program, and maybe two other words in there. But find what you're going to look for, because, remember Dr. Karanga, the inventor of Kwanzaa, he's my teacher. He's right around the corner. He'll tell you, and he taught me in 1999. I graduated in 2000, but he taught me that the Willie Lynch letter is fake. I looked it up and did research on it and found it was fake. But that's not the point. See, the reality is
the principles.
Thank you.
Whether it's not the principles
or real, you got to understand what it's talking about. The lights versus the darks, the house nigga versus the field nigga, and all that kind of stuff. That's what's written in the and it's basically the letter is a divide and conquer letter, Viz. That's what it is. And so what Kenny's trying to say is that we got to understand what the letter is trying to explain, whether it's fake or real. We got to understand what it's trying to explain, and before we can talk about saying fuck that
solutions.
Letter and fix things. But here's the thing, back to where I'm with Viz, is we do know what the issue is. And this whole discussion that we're talking about right now is, how do we get, because I think Darwin that said, okay, we know what the fucking problem is. We beat this horse, and we've had thousands of panel discussions every week, every night on what the issue is. Where's the fucking solution? If fatherlessness, because this is from the podcast with Umar and Nick Cannon, if fatherlessness is where the root of the issue is, then what do we got to do to get fathers back in the home? So divide and conquer, that could be part of it. The light skin, you got niggas over there laughing at light skin niggas. Oh, the light skin dudes is winning, or the dark skin dudes is winning. The tall guys is winning, and they getting all the girls, and the short guys ain't getting nothing. That's the whole Willie Lynch thing. But here's the thing: to get men back in the families and back in the homes, it needs to be incentivized for him to be there. That's my solution. My Shannon solution is, what is it going to be a comfortable place for a man to be? Is whether it's with a woman and he's creating his own child, or whether it's with a woman with child and he's coming in and taking care of them, as a stepfather. Are these homes a place of solace for a man to go out and work and come home to that family and be peaceful and be happy and want to be there?
Yeah.
Or is he going to be out in the world, in a chaotic world, and then come to a chaotic home? And who can make a home fucked up and chaotic or make it a peaceful place? And that's where Shan and my red pill theologies and all that bullshit comes in. It's ladies. If you want, you can't sit around here and get mad at men. And that's why because I think Marcus asked, he said, Shan, well, he said, guys, how many men are out there available that can cover and take care? I say a lot of men can. Why would they want to? The question is, I think a lot of them can. Why would they want to? When they're pressed up against so many different expectations and requirements, and then when they meet those requirements, the goalpost is moved, and now they got to make, $100,000 ain't enough now. Now you got to make 150, 200,000. You got to have all these things. You
gotta be fucking Superman
Where's
at this
the
point.
incentive?
A lot of that shit. Yeah.
Where's the incentive for JR? Where's the incentive for JR to turn around and get married today? Where's the incentive for Kenny to lock down a woman and her child from another man? For Kenny P in Brooklyn to go take that woman and cover her and protect her and problem solve for her and her child. What does Kenny P get out of that? That's the solution. If women can make it a place where it's great for men to want to be there, then men will come in droves. But men are now starting to see, well, I don't know, doesn't seem like a good place for me to be. I think being at home playing 2K, in my house full of IKEA furniture is just fine. And
no, I agree with you, Trev, Shan, but at the same time, I think that we as men have to take that first step. Like we can expect for the women to do it. We can hope for the women to do it, but there's no promise that they would. So as men, and
we should gamble.
Say it again.
We should take that gamble. You said men should take that first step. So you're saying men should just gamble it and just hope that she jumps in line.
Well, I'm saying when you get in a relationship with any woman or any person, you're taking somewhat of a gamble, just to be honest. But I think that if that's what it takes, then, and if you want something different, then shit, yeah, that's what life is. You got to take a gamble.
But I think that there's no humility for the woman that has kids and the man coming in and willing to be able to look at the kids as his own and take care of them. I think there's no incentive for that. There's no humility on the woman. Women today who have children still found some kind of way to get their minds to believe that they don't have a stain on their resume. You get what I'm saying? It's just, that's the most amazing thing to me in this all content, bro. That's why I kind of like touch on it. It's just crazy how that is. It's like, oh, I should still be able to get what I want. Like
it's owed to them, right?
Yeah, and then I think somebody touched on children. I think somebody touched on the kids and stuff. Like you're a stepdaddy. I have kids, but I will say this, and I don't know if anybody can relate to it. I think it's a different kind of connection. Like my kids, I love my kids. You know what I'm saying? But if I was a stepfather, I think I would only I think I would only show any care or love to the kids it's because I want to be able to, be with a woman. So that's a different kind of connection. It ain't like the father. So even if the father isn't, even if it, like somebody had this argument that it's just got to be a man in the home, even if the man is in the home, who's to say he's going to really treat that kid like he genuinely love that kid?
He got to love that woman. He got to love that woman to take care of her kids.
So Shannon, I do believe that women are the ones who made the change, right? Men haven't changed very much. Women have done different things. They're making more money now. Their attitudes have completely changed. Their requirements have absolutely changed, right? What they expect has absolutely changed. And a lot of people say, get your weight up, do this and this and that. But no matter what, there's always going to be a bell curve, right? There's always going to be people who are average. If somebody starts 100,000, then they're going to want $250,000. So it's just those things. Expectations have been higher, but they are willing to produce less. They're willing to service less. Don't have. And them being divorced is actually incentivized. So that's part of it, right? Now, Viz, I will say there are certain things that we can do as men to kind of prevent it. Stop giving children women who aren't wives. Stop giving women children who aren't wives. That's part of it, right? Stop rewarding bad behavior. The IG thoughts and all of that, ignore them. That's what we're going to have to start doing. We got to start like shunning them, shaming them, forgetting them. Just leave it alone, right? Do whatever you can to avoid these types of women. And that's easier said than done, but it's a necessary evil. If we want to take action towards it, we have to ignore these women all the way. What's that?
Think that's the action. I don't think that, it makes sense, but I don't even think that's doable.
How is it not doable?
What do you mean?
It's almost like you're asking that all men come together and say, hey, look, it's gonna be up to us to fix the shit. So we're not gonna give our seed.
Well, look, if this is a problem that we're facing, though, right? So what we can't fix the whole thing. Like I said, women have made the change; they have to do their part. But as men, there are certain actions that we can take to help mitigate the issue. You can't solve it all by ourselves, absolutely not. But if we protest women who are not virtuous, give them nothing, eventually it's going to bottom out, and they will have to adapt. If they are getting no attention or limited attention, and we are rewarding virtuous women versus women who are in the gutter, they have to make a change because they're going to want that validation. If we start validating women for being virtuous.
But Trev, that's the passport bro movement. That's MGTOW.
That's part of it.
That work out? I get it, but
it's not working out for them. It's not working out for them.
Here's my question: Go
ahead.
As the passport bro movement has exploded and MGTOW, men go their own way and the whole nine, has women said, "Oh my God, ladies, all our men are leaving. We need to get in line."
No, they're not doing that.
No, well, it's not because what they're doing hasn't moved the needle. That's actually been going on for decades, right? That's been going on for decades. This isn't new. The only thing that happened is social media, and black people got into it and couldn't help but post it. Others have been doing this. Yeah, we coined it. Yeah. That's been going on forever. That was the retirement plan before. That was the old retirement plan for a lot of gentlemen, a lot of divorcees. They've been doing this for decades. We just started doing that. Right. And if that's part of it, it's something that we'll have to continue to do if that's where you find it easy to make a living. And it's not just that. It's the economy they're leaving for, too. Sometimes your money's like tenfold over there. You could build a mini mansion for 50 racks. In the Philippines. It is what it is. Certain cities over there or towns or whatever the hell you want to call them. That's so it works full circle, right? They got fast enough internet now. I'm out. Go ahead.
Let this sink in, bro. I almost feel like it's no hope to keep the black man and the black woman together at a rate to where we have a single mother epidemic. And then we as a people have the audacity to just overlook this. All of the people in high places and political activism, whatever, and focus on getting reparations. Can you imagine what reparations is going to do to our community, our people, for what we have left? Yeah. Because we haven't fixed our relationships, pouring money on top of that.
Well, guess what, Bruce? You know what? We're locked into the Democratic Party, so that's not going to help us. Republicans will never do it.
Yeah, I agree with everything y'all said, man. I agree with everything y'all said. But let me go back to this video. One of the things is, man, as fathers, you got to be more involved with your kids. I mean, that's part of the problem. Now, whether you live in a home or not, you need to be more involved with your kids. And if you ain't involved with your kids, fuck you. You ain't shit. And that's why your kids end up the way they end up. That's why we're having the problems we're having now. Now, as far as these women that y'all talking about right now, man, let them have her suffer. Let them suffer, man. I mean, if you don't want to deal with it, if they not doing what you need to do, doing, you know, that's a problem for you. Don't deal with them heifers, man. Look, I'm not dealing with a woman who doesn't have a father. There's no way I would deal with. Why would you deal with that? Knowing all the issues she's bringing with you. I'm not going to deal with a woman who doesn't bring me mental peace, who's not respectful. Why am I dealing with her? I'm not going to waste my time. And I encourage every man not to. But the problem is y'all will. Just like Via said, he like that crazy pussy because he think it's the best.
No, sir.
No, that's
I ain't say
You
that.
did say that shit.
You like that crazy pussy because it's the best. And, hey,
I
I
don't
would tell you, man. You can have all that crazy pussy. You can get drunk off that shit for all I goddamn care. You can have it. You can have it. That shit ain't worth it, man. It's not worth it. I mean, you know, dealing with certain individuals and all that, it's not easy. Dealing with a woman who got problems, it's not easy. Why would you want to deal with them headaches? Another thing we gotta have to deal with. I know Don was talking about being stepfather. One of the things we gotta stop shaming stepfathers. We gotta stop shaming them because somebody got to take care of these goddamn kids, and somebody got to deal with these women who are decent women with kids. You know, that's gonna happen. Because guess more than likely, you motherfuckers bringing kids to the table anyway. Ain't like you coming childless. But you want a woman to acquiesce to you, which you got kids. She dealing with your badass kids, but you're not willing to accept a woman with kids. Yeah, that don't make sense. So it's gonna be some give and take.
You feel like the things I
Well,
said, shame stepfathers?
Most of them don't have no kids though. King. Most of the guys don't have kids. It's not that many that do. It's over half of the single men don't have children. But I do agree that we got to stop shaming the ones that do. See, like I think Trev was saying that, you know, we just got to leave these motherfuckers alone. I don't necessarily subscribe to us just leaving them alone, even the baby mamas. I'm simply saying, fellas,
no, I said leave the crazy ones. I said, Shane, I said leave the crazy ones
alone. The crazy ones alone. Child.
No, he was talking about
He was talking about what Trev was saying. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If she crazy, I don't give a fuck. She got a child or not. You got to figure that out. You got to leave them alone. But men, what I want men to do is start adopting the Trev doctrine. Is saying the shit up front and saying it with your whole chest. Far too many men is simping and pandering to women with children or not or otherwise, just simply for some pussy. Men have to get their dick under control, stop being out there doing whatever, saying whatever, and giving out whatever just to have sex with women. And if you guys, fellas, kings to be, follow the Trev doctrine, say what the fuck you demand and demand it. And if she don't get in line, show her the door, then we ain't gonna fix nothing. Now, there's gonna be a lot of women out there with children, like he just said, that are good women. And unfortunately, these women are being shadowed by the loud minority or majority, really, for a lot of these baby mamas that ain't worth a fuck. But they're still out there. My solution is good, bad, or indifferent. If all the men say what the fuck, follow the Trev doctrine, we can weed out all these motherfuckers, and then the good ladies will be able to get sifted through. That's just my thing. I don't think we need to just say fuck them.
Listen, Stan, if we gonna
do our best to stop giving these women children, we gotta do our best to stop rewarding them with our seed and our children too.
Yeah, we said
especially if you don't want them to have it, especially if you're not trying to make her yours. We gotta do our best with that. We gotta do better.
If you're gonna say stop shaming men who want to be stepfathers, then you got to stop shaming men who just want to pay for some ass. Because there's a lot of guys that do want to have sex and they don't want anything else. And this thing called finesse. They gotta act like they want to be with these women just to get the cheeks. So if we as men gonna say stop shaming men for being stepfathers, we need to stop shaming men for bringing that $40, $60, whatever it costs, $100 to get some ass today.
No, we do. We should stop shaming men that's just tricking, that's out there tricking. I ain't tripping on them. I'm gonna shame the men that's out there lying, fronting, pandering, and giving women fluff for some pussy.
Well, that's the same thing. But see, the thing is, a lot of these guys, the reason why they do that is because we've been there was an era. I think we're old enough to know there's an era where men would look down and say, "Man, you paying for pussy? I don't gotta pay for pussy, nigga. I got game." Like we just gotta
You
dish
ain't got
that.
no bitches. I got bitches.
We just gotta dish that. But I don't shame men for being stepfathers. I'm just saying, like, if that's your thing, that's your thing, man. But
Hey, but
men need
Right.
to tell the truth,
though,
man. All you got to do is tell the
I
truth
never
and say it
shamed
up
nobody
front.
for that.
Do what Trev says. Tell the truth, say it up front. Listen, I ain't trying to marry you. I ain't trying to get with you like that. I do enjoy having sex, not like to have sex with you. Say that up front.
Facts.
Right up front.
You know, if you
Put it on the table.
don't give all the bullshit.
Yeah, hey, I have one more video.
Don't be scared. Don't
Put
be
the
scared.
condoms
Even
on the
say it
table.
with your chest. Say it with your chest too.
I had a few videos, but I want to just try to squeeze one more video in, just one more topic. And it was about, because it's kind of relevant with everything that's going on, but why black men are becoming abusers. Let me just play this and then let's just get a few perspectives on it.
Oh, black woman, if you know you weighing too heavily on your king, go find you a surrogate dad. Go find you an elder, somebody who's too old to want something from you, and ask him, can he be that person that can give you honest advice and a hug when you need it? And the same thing with men. Because for men who didn't have their mother, not only do they look for women to fulfill those needs, Nick, but you know what else? They become the domestic abusers. If you were to interview men who abuse their women of any race, but we talking about us, you will find that disproportionately, they were either abandoned by their mothers or abused by their mothers in some way. They carry that pain in them. It never went away. And guess what? When the girlfriend starts letting them down and disappointing them,
It's transferred to her.
the transference from the mother.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this, well, you probably do because you read the news. We dealing with an epidemic of black men killing black women, choking them, killing it. We never did that. We never did that. And now we doing it. Going back to your mental health piece. Black men, because we are the most oppressed, we're the most traumatized. But you know what else? Because of our definitions of masculinity, which says a man can't be vulnerable to get help, we're the least likely to go get some damn help. Black men are in pain, but we cover it up with the exterior. But when we get behind the privacy of our door and our home, we let all that pain out on the only person who loves us unconditionally, and that's the woman. You see, I always tell people this. If you don't like you, why are you expecting him to like you? Why are you looking for a relationship if you ain't got one with yourself first? You don't like yourself. Why are you shopping
Say that
for?
again.
If you don't like yourself, why would anybody else like you?
Hey,
you don't even like
you
you.
don't like yourself, and you looking
And I'm
for
supposed to spend the rest
somebody
of my
else
life
to
with
like
you?
you.
That's insane.
Yeah.
All right. My
Why
black.
Nick can't act like he listening to that? Yeah, he literally like, nigga, I know. He just repeating them just to let them know that, look, I'm really not listening to you, but I'm gonna repeat what you said so you can't tell that I just dozed off into some imagination. I ain't gonna lie, I've done that shit before.
Yeah, he was thinking about having some more kids.
Anybody want to respond to?
Well, just I you know how I'm a male advocate. I fight for the men, you know, and so when I be hearing stuff now, listen, he's right. Black people are statistically the highest to be subject to domestic violence. But the thing is, I mean, of all from other races and whatnot, except for New York. In New York, Hispanics beat the blacks in terms of domestic violence, and then comes white people and Asians. That's almost double less than us. But it's male to women. I mean, it's male to female, and then also female to male. But we seem to only ever talk about the male to female side. And so I just want to throw this out there, JR, because I know I've been talking a lot tonight. That when we talk about domestic violence, don't just talk about it from don't play Color Purple movie on me. Don't tell me about Mr. Don't go out there talking about Seeley and all these victims, and these women is out here doing some egregious ass shit to men too. Now, maybe men don't talk about it because maybe, you know, it's like nobody wants to be, you know, it's not manly to say that your woman is hitting on you. But a lot of y'all on this panel had a woman put you in a headlock once.
And nobody cares. And nobody cares
gives a fuck that you was put in a headlock. You ain't even going to admit that you was put in a headlock 6 years ago, or before your wife, or before your last girlfriend.
Shan, do you think it's important what drove a man or agitated a man to where he laid hands on a woman? You think the steps or the intensity leading up to it matter?
I believe in right and wrong. I tell people all the time. Shannon doesn't believe in there's nobody. There's fault in everything. And I like to go back to the genesis of every argument. I tell people all the time, don't come at me talking about what somebody did or how they reacted to what the fuck you did. Don't tell me that, you know, just because they killed an ant with a sledgehammer, tell me what the fuck the ant did. So I believe in right and wrong, especially in relationships. And I want to go back to the genesis of the issue. Okay, what happened first? Who drew first blood? Who said some bullshit first? Who sent the fucked up ass text first? When y'all was happy and everybody was smiling, who said a stupid ass joke or did something wrong or violated the relationship? And then I get it spiraled out of control. I understand the snowball effect. And then your ass ended up with a black eye. But I want to know who the fuck started it. So yes, I do believe that there's cause and effect in relationships. And I always want to find out who caused the shit before we talk about the effect. A lot of people just want to start at chapter 3 in a domestic violence case. I want to go back to the fucking preface of the book and talk about the very beginning. And then that's how we can get to chapter 3 and all that kind of stuff. Just like court, just no different than court.
Man, like I said,
Shannon,
before,
to your point, real quick, just Shannon, to your point, women to women abuse is the highest reported, period. Woman on woman abuse out of any domestic situation.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. In relationships, I think it's same sex. I was gonna say lesbian. Same sex relationships. Women to women, they be beating each other up like a motherfucker.
But that goes back to what I was saying earlier, though. Those people typically, that's how they feel that they're supposed to love each other. That's what they think love is. I remember I used to date this one chick, and she would literally start fights with me just because. And what I noticed, what it was, is that she was into having makeup sex. Like that was something that just got her off. She wanted to pick a fight, start a fight, just so that we can have makeup sex. And after like the second time I noticed what she was doing, it's like, yo, this not normal. You know what I'm saying? This not what I'm into. You know, that you can pull that with some other nigga, but that's not what I'm into. And of course I had to part ways. But I think that in many cases where we do see these DVs is where both parties they're just simply into that shit, and it may be caught in some type of trauma or neglect or abuse or whatever the case may be, but they just be into it. Like that's how they express themselves to each other.
Because I asked a question on a panel. I was on a panel with a group of women, and they would just going at my neck, demonizing me because I said
you can't say that on Thursdays, bro.
Well, I was trying to focus on what led up to this man hitting this woman, because what I wanted to do is every time we hear the reason why this woman broke up, or the reason why she broke up, or they broke up, is because
why she cheated and all
I had
that.
to leave. But it was like there's still a layer that we're not understanding on a compatibility issue that's keeping a man and a woman from being able to thrive in the household. Like, what is the underlying issue? And then you start digging up the real dirt, but nobody wants to talk about that. Sort of like It's similar to what I posed before about the man not being in the house. Like, what is that issue right there? And I think if we can put our finger on that, then we can start moving the needle. But we can't move the needle because we don't know what the fuck is really going on between the man and the woman in these relationships, just causing them to just dip out on each other.
Working on yourself is the hardest war you can ever fight.
Right.
To conquer your internal issues is a war we are more scared of than fighting white supremacy. Most people go into relationships to distract from the need for self-care.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
Which is why I tell people, are you happy? Because if you're not happy, you have no business getting married. Because if you think you're going to marry Nick Cannon and he's going to make you happy being Nick Cannon, you're wrong. You know why? Because happiness is an emotion. And every emotion comes from inside you. Nobody makes you happy. Not Denzel. Nobody. You understand me?
Not Drake.
Nobody.
No.
If you were miserable before you got married, you're going to be miserable during the marriage. Because guess what? Marriage doesn't make problems go away. They explode them.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Facts.
So you got, man, I'm going to marry her so she stopped thinking I'm cheating. She's not going to stop thinking you cheating.
Gonna make it worse.
Just going to make it
You
worse.
just tightened it up.
It's going to make it worse.
Yeah.
You see, and then the other issue too, Nick, is when we date, we're not transparent with each other. Both people are selling each other an idea.
A representation.
Absolutely. Dating is the only time you go shopping when you don't know the ingredients to the product. When you go buy a new car, you know what it got. AC, heat. You go to the restaurant, this is what we cook our green. But when you start dating, you don't get no list that say this woman been raped, molested, her father left her.
Yeah.
She's a foster kid, but she don't want to tell you that because she think that's going to turn you off if she didn't grow up. You see that?
This man's a narcissist.
And guess when you start finding out what's really wrong with him? Once you get deep enough and in love enough, and then the true person surfaces. This is why you can date somebody. You ever see people dated for 10, 20 years? They was good.
Yeah.
Got married and divorced the first year. How y'all was together for 20 years? You know why? Because your ego that projects that false sense of who you are to the person, it stops lying under 3 conditions. The mask gets tore off under 3 conditions. Guess what they is? A woman gets pregnant, y'all move in together, or y'all get married. Those are the 3 conditions that forces the ego to reveal who you really are.
Right.
This is why I tell people you should never marry somebody if you didn't live with them for at least 3 months. There's no way I'm marrying a woman. There's no way I would let my daughters marry a man who you didn't cohabitate with for at least 3 months. Because guess what, Nick? When you were just picking her up and dating for 10 years, that's easy. But when you go and sleep in her house, you sleep in her house. You didn't know she had a secret cell phone. You didn't know her ex-husband knocks on the door all times of the night. You didn't know she don't like to clean up the damn house. You didn't know she don't wash her hands before she. You see what I'm saying? You start seeing. You didn't know her mother come over here and post up on the couch all night with her funky toe. Do you see?
Facts.
It's not until you live with somebody that you really know who they are. Now I do tell women this, Nick, because we can abuse that. We'll live with a woman for 20 years and say, I still ain't made up my mind yet. Y'all damn near to the cemetery. What you mean you ain't made up your mind? So I tell sisters 2 years. If you've been living with a man consistently under the same roof for 2 years, he knows if he's going to marry you. It's up to you whether you're going to be the fool to hang around after 2 years. Because as you know, being a man, after a year, you got a pretty good idea whether this could be a wife, if she could be a wife. After the second year, you.
That's where he fucked up at. So she gonna fuck it up for 2 years. No.
Hey, Nick Cannon body language definitely says that he checked out a long time ago. Hey,
So he don't give Nick Cannon no time to talk, probably. And I can see
Give him no time.
now. You don't
No
you don't
time to
let her get that
respond.
far. Because that's like daisy chaining. You want to know what daisy chaining? Daisy chaining is where a black woman. This nigga just keep going.
Hey, he was like, what's that? He was like, you want to know what the 3 things is? What's that?
That's all you got time to get in. That's all. He get 3 seconds.
You want to know what the universe leads to?
I'm kind of surprised Dr. Umar was promoting shacking up, but that's another story. But not to say I don't believe in that, because I believe you should take a test drive before you buy a car. That's just me.
For sure.
Because he did explain some damn good reasons as to why you wanna find out those things because you really don't know, man. She might have some really terrible habits, like her hygiene might just be poor, or she's just a messy person. You like to be organized, or it's so many different things that you're gonna find out just by living around, and the people that actually come through and all that. Like, yeah, you have to know. I don't think 3 months is enough. I think you need probably like a good year at least, right? And we all know psychologically women can hold their representative in the forefront for up to 2 years. So, you just had to be careful about that. You need to pay attention to the something. Don't let the sex cloud you, and you'll probably be all right.
All right, let's go get Marcus, and then Marcus trying to say something. Go ahead.
All right, so I just want to be clear. There is no reason for a man to hit a woman. Like, I don't care what she did specifically. Leave her. We need to normalize maintaining your levels of respect and leaving. Like, it's never okay to be hitting these women. Like, that's just, there isn't, like, I get what she might have done something.
Never? You use the word
so
never.
Marcus.
Okay.
Marcus,
If your life
there's
is
no
at
fuck
risk,
around and find out. There is no fuck around and find out at all. Absolute zero.
what you saying? Like, explain
That's
fuck around.
No, we're asking you
yeah.
because
There's not
you
an
said there's
instance
never a
of fuck
reason
around
for a
and
man
find
Okay,
out.
well, let me. All right, so there's never a reason outside of her posing immediate threatening harm to you, like she got a gun, a knife, and you trying to get away.
Okay.
Outside of that,
right.
if y'all arguing in a relationship, look, the problem
What
with
about your
relationship,
child? What about your child though?
you can't hit her for that. Only you just can't hit her.
For putting your child in danger?
You can't hit her. You need to take your child away from her. You need to do whatever you need to get away. Don't hit the woman though. Like, so
what she hit you?
Leave her. Leave her. Look, by the time somebody gets to the point where they're gonna put their hands on you, the level of respect is so far gone.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
That it's never.
Who was with the dude out the Pirates of the Caribbean, the actor? What's the girl
Johnny
name?
Depp. Johnny Depp.
The girl. Pause.
He should have. So Bruiser. Say you got a
Amber Heard.
Say you got
Amber
Amber.
Heard. What if she Amber Turd you?
Leave her. Look, look. This is a sliding scale. You know how many things you got to ignore to get to the point where somebody raise their hand to hit you. You got to ignore the escalation of them yelling. You got to ignore the escalation of them being extremely disrespectful and condescending. You got to ignore. Like, I watched this show called Never Mets. I don't know if y'all ever seen it before, but so it's a new show that came on where these people been dating online for years and they finally meet together. And everything was cool online. They get together. It's one guy on there, right? He's not a very dominant man. And the woman he's dating is from Brooklyn, and she extremely domineering. She be talking to him crazy. She called him a bitch the other day. She threw flowers and stuff at him. And he's constantly trying to figure out how to make that relationship work. It won't ever work because she doesn't respect him. When you get in a relationship where the women don't respect you, you just leave and find a woman that respects you. And it's possible that you may need to repair something in you to maintain respect. It's very possible. It's very
Marcus,
possible.
Is it easy to find a good woman as easily as you just said it was?
I think so.
Hell yeah. I think
You
so.
aspirational, Viz. Cut it out.
I think so. Shit.
Okay. You know what? I can't say that to you, Viz, because you're always aspirational to some point that I can't even fathom. It gives me stomach ache. You understand? Because here's the thing: if we go to the alpha of yesteryear, a woman is warned, then she is penalized, then she is physically disciplined. That's how old alphas used to. The society we have, most men are beta because they're not allowed to enforce their households. I am not promoting abusing women. So let's get that out the way. So we live in a beta-matic society, if you want me to say it that way, where women, as Shannon said earlier, can do what they want because they have the law. They can be in your face saying, hell nah, F you, all this stuff, what you gonna do, mush you, swing on you, and they take inches. They take inches to the point where nice old Marcus wants to speak that tender lover Johnny Gill stuff to her, and she smacked hot fire out your face and knocked them glasses off. Not saying your wife would.
No, I know.
Look, you're a big man. You got to reach up.
Yeah, she gonna have to
It's
do a lot,
catchy,
Kim.
right?
But look, I have A1 dick. I will remove the dick from her before she
Oh,
even
here we go.
look.
We gotta hype himself. This dude here, man.
What I'm saying.
That's what we gonna do,
Look,
Marcus.
listen to me. Just listen to what I'm
All
saying.
right,
Listen
all
to the
right.
point I'm making.
You
Listen to
a
the point I'm
porno
making.
star. I go on mute.
The point I'm making is I have something that she would want. I will take that thing away as the punishment. I'm not hitting her. If my presence is something she admires, I'll take that away. I'm not hitting her. If I'm there as an emotional, like, what is it? What you call the thing? The value.
Emotional
If I'm
function.
somebody that's she rely like. Look, when women trust you and they put they all into you, they look to you for damn near everything. The removal of your presence is worse than physically hitting them. It is.
So, Marcus, would you say the penis is the ultimate neutralizer of all deviant behavior in women?
No, I'm just when you was talking about punishments, I was just thinking like shit. I'll take this away, I'll take that away, I'll take this away, I'll take that away. If she don't get it together, I will be gone. But I'm not gonna hit her unless it's sexual.
Women, I can't say that women come good. Like I know somebody said there's a good woman. I don't think women come good. I think once you get her, then it's up to you to be able to kind of guide her into. Y'all guide each other into or tell each other how y'all or whatever. If she's impressionable, I think that is a better way to put it. But a woman coming good is very subjective to the man that's dating her or with her.
For sure.
You get what I'm saying? I don't think they just come good. Like a lot of them, for the most part, if we could use statistics, but I try to stay away from it. Come the opposite, like fucked up. It's traumatized. I mean, we just saw a whole interview of how they come. So to say that there's a good woman out there is ridiculous at this point. So I think it's all based on the man and his ability to impress this woman to the point where she might be able to compensate for the things she lacked, make the changes necessary for them to thrive in a relationship. I think that's an important thing. Just saying.
Let's keep it a buck here too, man. A woman, if a woman is digging you enough, be it your gang, your G, the D you laying down, whatever the case may be, she's going to conform to whatever it is that you're calling for, that you want. In many cases. Now, and to Kenny's point, I don't know about all the rest of the fellas, but just with what I do, I come across a lot of women. You know, over the years, I've always just been in the presence of women with my job. So in those situations, I can tell typically how a woman carries herself in the most part. And then once I do become friends with her or just see how she interacts, you can tell if a woman is a good woman or not, and if she's volatile in that sense. But
who can tell? Who can tell?
Whoever is in the vicinity. If you're in that area and you're seeing how she interacts with other people, I mean that's typically a telltale of their personality.
Do you think that's a skill set, or do you think that's just something that everybody's just born with?
I think that is a skill set. I think that is a skill set. I think we're all born with discernment, but it's your own choice if you wish to fine tune it or not.
Look, I heard
think a lot of it is XP. I'm not going like there's part of it that I don't think we're born with much of what we need to be equipped to vet women. I think a lot of it is XP. You got to get out there and do that, right? And hopefully you have people in your life that schooled you, right? But not all of us are exposed to that. Like a lot of us, we just talked about how fathers are scarce sometimes. You may not have positive role models in your life, so it's not easy for everybody to just do that. I mean, I understand it, right? But it's something that I had to learn. But at least I understand. It was a point in my life where I didn't know anything about it. And so at least I can speak to that where like, nah, you may not have a clue because women know how to play the game. You think women ain't got no finesse? They literally watching TikTok and YouTube and Instagram to learn how to finesse you, how to get him to how to live in his mind rent free. Like they're working on this. It's a craft to them. And if you haven't been developing your skills to fight that matchup, you're gonna be hit out here. For some of us, it comes easy, but we have to understand that to the average person, they getting some of these youngsters out here. They are really working on the finesse game,
but that's part of the game, though. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the game. So it's I hear what you're saying, but back in the day, and I'm sure Shannon can solidify it. Those niggas was tricks and johns. If you was getting played in the game, then that's what you was. It's either you got to pick a side. So if you choose to remain ignorant to the game, then you're just gonna be another trick or another John. That's part of the game.
So look, I think we need to look at the women as like a my player or some shit like that. Like if she come with all the attributes and badges and shit, then it's just don't even fuck with her, bro. You need a woman that you can upgrade. You know what I'm saying?
They don't tell you that. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you. They'll be having 90 bodies. They're not going to tell you. They're going to be like, I got 4. Like, you don't know what's going on. They're not going to tell you that I finessed the last 17 dudes that I was with. They're not coming like that. They're going to present themselves as a nice girl or whatever your fantasy is. They're going to show you their representative, as Shan would say. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to tell you this is what I'm about. They all come with the same game. Just like us, how we were talking about earlier.
Of finding the information through conversation. This is a matter of finding this information through spending time and paying attention to signals and shit like that. So, and I'm not really necessarily talking about her body count when I talk about badges and upgrades and shit. I'm just talking about she's just into you. She hasn't been around everywhere and all that shit. She's young. She don't have any kids. I think that's a start. You get what I'm saying? But I get.
So we should stay away from the older ladies then.
Put on her best
like talking about.
I get what you're saying with that. But I'm just saying.
I heard somebody say this shit. It's some of the realest shit I ever heard. When they got older, they controlled the ability to choose who they actually love.
What did he say?
When they became older men, they gained the ability to be able to choose. Like, you know how when you're younger, you get the butterflies and you be like, oh, I just love her, and you ignore all of those red flags and things. They were saying as they got older, they were so strict in the parameters of what they felt was necessary to maintain respect. They chose who they loved. They didn't just let it happen. So if it was a girl,
that's from XP. That's from XP. That's from XP. It's not just like they just. Okay, you just get older and you just get it. You got experience, man. You was out there doing what it do. You made hella mistakes and then you got better at it. That's the problem. You could make a lot of mistakes on your way. That's what we're missing. A lot of dudes get screwed up in the process. And by the time all that stuff happens to you,
Marcus, love is a choice.
I agree. If you got two women in front of you, and one you feel like you care about, I said this all the time. One you feel like you care about more than the other one, and you know she's gonna make your life difficult, and one is gonna make your life better. You better choose the one that make your life better.
Yeah, no question.
Like
choose to love her. Choose to love her.
And to Trev, I agree with what you're saying with the XP part, but how many times do you got to get burnt before you learn from it? You know what I'm saying? If you in your 20s, you early 18, 19, you in your 20s, and you still getting burnt in your 30s, it's time to do a reality check and look yourself in the mirror and say, all right, what am I doing? Damn.
What happened? I gotta watch that. Wait, what happened?
Oh,
hey, something going on, Marcus.
I tell you,
it was like he was falling through the matrix or something. Like,
what the fuck?
Fell into something.
Yo, Marcus, you good?
This woman hit him or something, bro.
What the fuck? Yo, what was that? Yo, is he all right? He didn't fall out, did he? Is he good?
I hope he's okay.
Hey, Marcus, you straight?
Swatted.
Marcus, you gotta
no, he get swatted.
Might need an intervention. We gotta watch what he smoked. I don't understand.
He said, "Why would you smoke?"
He smoked something. He fell through a dimension. He was like, "I'm like, what's going on there?"
Yo, man, I got the window open, and this wind blew the motherfucking painting off the wall. That shit just smacked the shit out of me.
Oh, okay.
Yo,
Yeah,
that's not what looked like happened. I just watched that shit on the replay, bro. It looked like a different tale from what you just said. God damn.
not you looked at on the replay, Trev.
Nah,
You thought I just got beat up?
I'm definitely about to play with this clip.
I was
For
thinking in
sure.
my head, who rolled up in Marcus's spot real quick at this hour at night? That's what I was thinking. I want to make sure he all right. No, who rolled up in his spot? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Pause.
Nah,
I'm like,
this
dog, you
wind is
straight?
going crazy. It just blew 3 painters down, and I got
It
a
blew you
front room.
over. Yo, he in
No, I got hit
Chicago,
with
right?
the
That's
paint.
supposed
That's
to
what
be
happened.
Windy
Supposed to be a
City.
storm. Now I heard it's supposed to be a storm and some possible tornadoes tonight.
That's the way the shit was did. It felt
I
like
look at Marcus got some ops out there. He got some ops where he lives.
I'll be
back.
it was the red pill telling me, "Oh, you don't want to hit women? We got something for your ass."
Man, bitch ass we get up out here, man. Angela Swift 1999 says, you know what? Y'all wouldn't leave her nowhere. Henry 199.37
Yes, I
says,
would.
Cap. And saying one $2 says, I'm 41. I have yet to see a woman use a F3M. Oh, condom.
Female.
This shit broke my computer. God damn.
Renell Jackson 199. Marcus disappeared like Dr. Strange. All right, man. Let's make sure we support each other, man. A lot of the gentlemen on the panel have some amazing things going on, whether it be via YouTube or things outside of YouTube. So I like to follow their IG. But just make sure you go to their IG and click on their YouTube, and let's make sure we show up the same way you guys show up here, and let's support each other. That's the best way that we can do anything, is make sure. And there's a lot of talented people, man. You know, we got a lot of people that's in film. We got models. We got people that's good with finance. People good with editing, help you get your podcast started. A whole bunch of good stuff. So just tap in and reach out to these gentlemen on the panel and make sure you tap into their skills. Hit the like button. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Appreciate the chat and everybody that's tuned in tonight. Another bang in the books, y'all. We out of here.
Damn dog eating my
Appreciate you, gentlemen.
Peace,
Appreciate y'all.
peace, yo.
All right, y'all.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. We gon' come and see about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. Find out nothing sweet about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. We gon' come and see about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. Find out nothing sweet about it.
Look, mile like 3-6 pulled up, ski trip, cold winter. All my eating good, I remember when we had no dinner. West side, east side, no side, both sides with me. Check, come and check, leaving flex season 12, come and get me. Gil, to run around high speed, chasing all the big bags. Bending corners, bending rules, bending necks, Gil, the whiplash. Slide through hot knife, warm butter storm, gutter drain lane. Young man, old habit, still at it, tryna let my chain hang. True story, new story, 2-story condo, B&B. 4 bath, 1 me, no key, like I did a B&E. B&Me so good, so hood, so not worried about it. 250,000 new views, old news, know you probably heard about it. Extra, extra, read about it. Headline, word around town, flexing. Ballin' on my course, so I ain't worried about nobody out of bounds, stressing. Feeling like Hercules, murder these ain't a problem to me. Tried to tell the maid service don't come unless you bringin' condoms to me.
Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. We gon' come and see about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. Find out nothing sweet about it. Moving, shaking, coming down to me. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down to me. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down to me. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down to me. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping.